Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ice Cold Pop Culture with Joleen, and producer Tilly is joining us tonight. We have lots of things to talk about. If you are joining live, make sure you hit that like. If you're not already, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, Super Chat's a great way to do it. You can send it during the live, and I'll highlight your comment. Otherwise, you can become a member here on YouTube or support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Joleen Lunzer. Producer Tilly is literally, you guys, she's right there. I don't know if you can see her, but Tilly, why don't you come sit on my lap? She is ready to party. So welcome. Good evening, you guys, for a special Sunday night Ice Cold Pop Culture. I'll be doing these updates more often. We'll talk about a wide myriad variety of things going on in pop culture. You guys are always welcome to send me things you want me to discuss. You can email me joleenreacts@gmail.com. And yeah, okay. We will be taking a hilarious look and, sometimes a little serious look at stuff that is going on. And sometimes I will be joined by special guests, not only producer Tilly, but also I have a very special guest with me tonight, you guys. So I hope that you show her lots of love. I know you will. Make sure you smash that like. AinaCrock is here. What's up, Aina?
What up? It's been forever.
I know, I talk to you. We talk all the time.
Yeah, we talk all the time. I've been working like a maniac, so I don't have a lot of free time. And then I've been trying to get my situation together. Like, I bought a new desk. I bought wallpaper, but it gave me anxiety because it was not peel and stick like I had initially thought. So I sent it back.
I don't blame you.
That's not a vibe, man. I'm not Bob the Builder. I don't have time for shit like that. Like, it was like, oh, you got to get like a roller and a thing. I was like, nope. So tomorrow I'm going to go to Target and find nice sticker wallpaper so the back of me doesn't look so naked.
Mm-hmm. I love the Target sticker wallpaper. I might do this back wall. So if you notice, I'm in a different location. I've moved my locations. I tried it in my office, and I'm trying it in another room. I tried it in my bedroom. And now I want a little corner. As you can see, you kind of see the fireplace there. So I've created a little, let me just pull away here.
Love the ambiance. Yes, ambiance.
Little nook, right? Ice Cold Pop Culture Breakdown with Joleen, because we have Celebrity Big Brother coming up. So I have to get comfy. So me and Aina are getting our areas together, and I pinned Aina's channel so you guys can subscribe to her. Because are you gonna be covering Celebrity?
I am gonna cover Celebrity. So that's gonna be
I was like
yeah. So I'm probably not gonna really cover live feeds. I'm definitely gonna try to get what I can, but just like I don't have the time to watch the live feeds like I did before because it's just a lot. So I'll try to catch sneak peeks as I can, but I'll definitely be recapping episodes and just the drama going on because you know.
It's so fun.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so fun. So Aina's channel is pinned, you guys. It's the pinned comment. I also have it in the description if you're watching later. So very easy for you to just click on it, like Atharella shared it in the chat, and subscribe. Subscribe. So what else has been going on before we get into it? Because, we haven't really heard from you a ton. I know you're busy with your job and stuff.
So mostly just working. Honestly, I've been working. I'm working at Sephora now, and I love it. Anybody that knows me, I mean, you guys know what's up. You know, I'm the makeup junkie. Like, I legitimately don't leave work usually without buying something. It's kind of a problem. But, like today, I bought stuff.
Oh my gosh. Your makeup always looks so amazing, Ina. Like, you're so talented.
This is 8 a.m. makeup, so please don't judge, friends. Please don't judge.
It looks so good.
I contributed to the delinquency of a YouTuber by the name of Patrick Starr. I bought Patrick Starr's palette, and you know what? I just think it's cute. And I'm going to show it to you guys real quick because why not? But she's just...
So this is a makeup YouTuber?
Yeah.
Okay.
These colors, they look kind of basic, but you can do a lot with this palette.
I like that pink one in the middle.
Right? It's super pearlescent, very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and look at the cool shape of it. Like, that's fun.
That is really cool.
I'm into that. Matter of fact, I'm going to go just stack that on top of the other palettes and just toss the box. Bye, box. I did buy the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury.
I need that.
You do need this. Everybody who wears makeup needs this. This ish is mask proof. I'm just saying. And if you don't want to spend the $35 on this, I will tell you something else. Sephora Collection is a nice little, oh, wait. There we go. It's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. Mm-hmm. So it works, but I want the real deal Holyfield because that's just.
Will it help from like my foundation when I have my mask on? Like it rubs off a little bit, so it'll set it so it doesn't rub off?
Yep.
How much do you have to put on?
I mean, a few sprays. And then I hit it with my little fan after I spray so that I didn't forget it. My coworker convinced me that I needed to buy some Lily lashes. I never spend this much on lashes, but I did today, and I bought some Lily lashes. They're pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. But she said she gets about 50 uses out of them, so the money was worth it. And then for my own comfort, I bought these from Norvina because, well, oh shit.
Those are beautiful. Which lashes are you wearing right now? Because they're really pretty.
So these are some, what do you call that? Like a beauty supply store ones that I just saw. Mm-hmm. They were really like, I call them fantastical because no one can actually grow lashes like this, but they definitely give me like comic book villain, and I'm okay with that. And then I ran out of my brow pencil, so bam, got another one of those. And then, oh yeah. So Sephora just got a new mascara from their collection and new gel liners. So these are, I forget what they call it, but I'll send you this one. Actually, I'll send them both.
Really?
Liners.
What?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Score, friendo. Yes.
Little like Joleen, like little love box.
Because Ina realized that I love Charlotte Tilbury. Like I just discovered Charlotte Tilbury in the last year. And Ina said, you white ladies love Charlotte Tilbury, but she loves Charlotte Tilbury too. But you did say that to me and it was hilarious. And then she said, what do you put under your foundation? My Charlotte Tilbury foundation. And I said, just put that highlighting, like Wonder Glow. And she said, oh, I need a what? I need a primer. I still don't have one. Which one am I supposed to buy again?
You could do, it depends. Like, what you call it? I think I told you to do the Smashbox primer because it has like a little highlighter underneath it. And yeah, a primer this is information for the world. If you wear makeup, you should wear a primer. Why? Because a primer is gonna be it's gonna be the barrier between your face and your makeup. So that way that shit's not like seeping into your pores and causing you to get pimples. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I got a pimple. We were talking and you saw it the other day because I picked it.
I mean, listen, we all have vices and mine is picking. So the mask is giving me forehead wrinkles, but it's fine. It's fine.
No, it looks so good. The Huntsman says, oh, heck yeah, I love me some Britney and I'm here for the drama. Hey, Joleen, thank you, Huntsman, for the first super chat. Sorry, I interrupted you. So you were talking about why it's important to have the primer on.
Oh no,
And
yeah,
so
it's a barrier. It's a barrier between your face and your makeup.
base. Okay.
You just want to have something. And also, when you have a nice smooth primer on there, guess what? Your makeup, your foundation is going to go on smooth. It's going to be fabulous. Fabulous.
I know also, we had a whole, it was probably like a couple weeks ago now, but when we were talking about makeup and we're on FaceTime and I was talking about my brushes because I like my new Sephora brushes. You have the same ones as me. Also, your hair looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
And you asked how I washed them, and I told you, and then you were like, maybe we want to switch that because a lot of my brushes have been falling apart, and it's because after I wash them, I set them like this so the water seeps down into the wood of the brush.
Yep.
And then I also
the glue that holds them together loosens, and then they release each other, and that's always.
Yeah, we're talking makeup, and Ina's going to come back a lot and talk makeup, and Ina's going to talk about makeup on her own channel, and Ina is like a professional. So, I mean, you really are. Okay.
A hot mess right now.
And you look so gorgeous. So, and then she also told me you have to put a little bit of like Dawn with a little bit of olive oil.
Yes.
When you wash your brushes, and I haven't tried it yet. I did use soft soap again. Am I gonna?
It's not bad if you use soft soap, but if you're gonna use soft soap, use one that's antibacterial. And then the olive oil, like I said, is gonna help to break up the makeup. That's why I remember we were talking about how your brushes weren't getting fully cleaned. That olive oil is gonna it's gonna break up the makeup, and also it's gonna condition your bristles. And that's what we all want. We want to take care of our stuff because we don't want to have to replace it. Some of my brushes, okay, here, hold on. I'll show you a brush that is very expensive, but it's trippy because I've had it for, oh, here it is. This brush right here, this is a Sephora collection brush. This brush I have had for 12 years.
What?
I've had this brush for 12 years. They don't make them like this anymore. Don't judge me.
It's in really good condition.
Don't come for me. This is a real hair brush. It's not a
whose hair?
I don't know. But this is my favorite brush. It works better than anything I've ever used. And the hype is real. And this brush is amazing. I mean, it's everything. It's even weighted differently. Like it has a different weight. I just love it. I love this brush.
And they don't make it anymore.
Nope. That one and my eyebrow brush from Sephora collection I have had for over a decade. But I mean, I take care of my babies. I use my facial
question for Ina. Can she do that?
I mean, I wouldn't, to be honest. First of all, it's a waste of your face wash. And I think that it's possible that, well, I don't know what face wash you use. So there's that. So that has more to do with it. Because like if it's just a gentle cleanser, it might be fine. But if you have something that's going to have like an exfoliant in it, that's probably not good for the bristles of your brushes. So it all really.
If you have like a CeraVe, because I have like that gentle CeraVe cleanser too that Chell likes to use. So I could use something like that to clean the brushes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's brush cleaner. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. And plus, I'm gonna tell you, Dawn antibacterial soap is cheaper than all of those. And you
look at Realification says she uses Dawn.
Hello, Realification. You know what it is, boo?
And you're not the only one. Shannon Vance had the same MAC angled liner brush since 1999. And Nancy's had Chanel. Oh, Nancy fancy for over 20 years.
If you take care of your brushes will take care of you.
I don't take care of them, but I'm going to now because you taught me
secrets. Yes.
I know. Shout out to Nana. I got Nana. I was putting Charlotte Tilbury.
I miss you, Nana.
I know, and she'll be back tomorrow for 90 Day with Nana. But I was putting Charlotte Tilbury all over Nana's face when she was in town, and she just looked. Nana always used nice makeup, though. She's never been a drugstore gal. She always uses Estee Lauder. That's been her makeup forever. But I don't love Estee Lauder, but she likes it. But Charlotte Tilbury looks really good on her.
Estee Lauder has a foundation that is the claims of it have been told to me by people who wear it. It's sweat proof, it's waterproof, I don't want my makeup to be that high on defense. I'm just being honest. because then I will be doing too much. I can't be going to the gym with makeup on. I need to go in the gym looking like I don't care about myself. So when I come out, I can feel good and then beat myself up with makeup.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to sweat and drench it out. Like, I don't know. But for me, Estee Lauder, she's a classic brand. I'm not going to take anything away from Estee Lauder. I don't particularly love that foundation. For me, the Double Wear is a little heavy. I like Lancome. I mean, you know.
Oh, I think Nana has some Lancome stuff too. But when I was just rocking shitty drugstore stuff, Nana would be like, you need to invest in some little bit nicer stuff. And I'm like, this is fine. But once I started, I was like, oh, now I know what everyone's talking about. It's worth it. And you use less product. And overall, you probably save more money once you find that thing that works for you. Once I found the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, it changed the game. I've never had foundation that sits on my skin and doesn't look foundation-y, if that makes sense.
It's very your skin, but better. Very that.
Yes.
I love
yes.
She has a bronzer that I've been fighting myself not to buy. It's so expensive. I want it so bad.
Charlotte Tilbury does?
Yes. It's like a big gold. It's just, I'm obsessed with packaging. It's kind of my thing. I have a problem. I can't help it. I have so many lip glosses for no reason. Where am I going? What am I doing? I'm putting lip gloss in a mask. Do you know how hard it was? Listen, the MAC store in the mall here has a collab right now with Saweetie and Cher. And it's
what?
Yes.
I never go to the MAC store ever. I only go to Sephora. I used to go to Ulta because I didn't know any better. No offense, Ulta. I think Ulta's at Target now. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
gosh.
I mean, I really fought myself, but I think I'm gonna have to go back and go get a couple of lipsticks because it's Cher and Saweetie. Like,
and
I love a good makeup collab.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Tracy's Cafe, welcome. Hello, Joleen in chat. Panel guest, I just subscribed. Well, feel free to subscribe to Ina as well. I love this Charlotte Tilbury lip gloss I have because she makes everything. I like packaging too, but she makes everything so cute. This is just a rose, like a basic kind of, not a lot of color, but I love how it's a heart. Her little applicator. Cute. It's a freaking heart. Like, I'll buy that all day, every day. I'll pay extra for that heart. But I also, if you're looking for a cheap lip gloss to just like condition your lips, this freaking Tree Hut Sugar Lips lip butter from Target.
Ooh, okay.
It's on like that stand in Target. You know, they have that round stand where it kind of has like stuff you can try, stuff that's not that expensive. Yeah. It's so moisturizing. It's so good. It's so yummy. It's just great. It nourishes and renews. It has shea butter, rose hip oil, and it's like $5.69 California price. So
you're gonna judge me so hard. So my coworker was roasting me because I kept having to reapply my Carmex, and she was like, "You know why you have to keep doing that, right?" And I was like, "Why?" She goes, "Because it's not actually nourishing your lips." And I was like, "What? How dare you disrespect my Carmex?" Right? I was hella hurt. And then she goes, "You should try Laneige." And I was like, okay. So now I'm using Laneige. Is
that expensive?
$18.
I got to write that down. I don't care. I'll buy it. What is it? How do you spell it? It's French.
Laneige. And it's so good. It is so good.
And it's berry.
They have pear, they have peach, they have vanilla. During the holiday, they had gingerbread. Lips just.
I'm gonna buy that. I feel okay. That kind of puts my Tree Hut to shame.
No, actually, you know, it's probably a dupe. It probably is. I'm not. I like it because it's not like a gloss in the sense that there's no stickiness whatsoever. Lips feel nourished and moisturized, but it glides like a gloss. So when your lips move against each other, it's very not slippery, but
I like that. Glad. Do you remember that one stuff? It was like back in like the early 2000s. Everyone was wearing it, and you could get it at like Macy's, but it was very sticky. It was like a gloss, juicy tube.
Lancome.
Yes, it was great gloss wise, but it was so sticky.
Yes, I remember I bought the holiday one, and it was like a bunch of them, and I was just like, yeah, and then I was like, I don't like that. That's not cute.
They have Fenty at Ulta?
So Fenty is now going to be at Ulta. I don't want to blast anybody, but a couple of my coworkers were talking about it today, and motherfuckers was not happy.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, part of the thing about Fenty is she's the exclusivity of having her in Sephora was like a big thing. But my thing is this, like, it's fine. As long as we do what we got to do, it ain't no thing. People are going to come where they're going to come. Listen, I don't only shop at Sephora because I work there. I've always shopped at Sephora. The reason why I don't like shopping at Ulta is because I have a shitty experience every time I go in there.
Well, there's just a different vibe with Ulta. I just feel like
that's the vibe. I don't give a fuck whether you spend money or not. That's the vibe. The vibe is we don't care if you're here. We're going to get paid regardless. And that's terrible.
But I kind of feel like people are really quick to help me at Sephora.
Oh, yeah, at Sephora.
Or they meant Ulta. Okay, so I said Ulta, didn't I? Sorry, I'm getting all confused. So at Sephora, I feel like people immediately greet me, help me, want to match a foundation. At Ulta, yeah, it's kind of like, and you are who? And I care because.
Right. I hate that feeling. And I have one right down the street from my house, but I will drive further out to get to a Sephora where I'm going to get the love and respect that I deserve for the amount of money I'm about to drop. Like, don't think that because I come in there with no makeup on that I'm a busted ass heifer. I'm about to come in there looking like a potato and buy up the motherfucking shop. Oh, sorry.
No, because sometimes, yeah, I go into Sephora and I think they're like, oh, okay, all right, hoodie, what are you gonna get? And then I'm just like on a Charlotte Tilbury haul, and they're like, come on up, you know. But one more thing I will say about Ulta, the one in West Hollywood, when I lived in West Hollywood, a lot of Ultas I feel like have really good salons. I really enjoy the salon people. And for California, since going to a salon is more expensive than when I lived in like Arizona or Minnesota, more reasonably priced. And I don't want to say that because I do think that, you know, hairstylists deserve, you know, to get paid. Right. But sometimes you go to places and a blow dry after a cut and a color is a la carte. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? My hair wet looking crazy?
Yes. Yes. I went to those a la carte salons where they were like, do you want a blow dry? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I want, yeah. And then they're like $400. And I'm like, holy shit. Oh, Lacey's an Ulta employee. Oh my God. Hopefully we didn't
Sorry about it.
Insult you, Lacey. We love you.
It ain't you, but it is your friends. And it's definitely your coworker. I'm just saying.
The one in West Hollywood, though, I will say was really good. And it was right by my favorite Target. And everyone was really nice. And I had my hairstylist there. But then I came out to the desert and I was like, I need to switch stores. And they didn't carry, I don't think they carried Charlotte Tilbury because I used to like, I used to like Too Faced.
And then, you know what? Too Faced just dropped a collection and I am so disappointed in them. It is a mess. A mess.
I think their products have been going down since in the past like 8 years.
So I'm going to show you the last palette I bought from Too Faced. Now, this was a while ago. This is the Clover palette. And part of the reason I bought it, surprise, surprise, I'm not a huge animal person. It doesn't mean I hate them, but I'm just not a huge animal person. But I bought this one because part of the proceeds went to helping animals or something. I don't know.
That's so cute.
It was so cute, right? So then wait till you see.
It's like Hello Kitty.
Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I mean, you can get so many looks out of this palette. You hear that? That is good shit. Their newest one is paper, like it's cardboard, and the pans are small. The colors are not like very pigmented. And I was like, I get it. Jared Blendino is problematic, but he needs to come back to work. I don't know who he signed his stuff over to, but no, sir. The quality is trash now. Not good at all. Not happy about that.
That's Nana's job to insult the chat. Nana usually does.
Who did Nana get in their ass? Who got it?
Sometimes, well, no, it'll be like, these doctors need to care more, and then people are like, I'm a doctor, you know, so it's just kind of funny. All right, so Lacey agrees. I hate the new Two-Face. All right, so now that we did a little makeup chat, let's get into some of this stuff that we're here to talk about. But I think every time you join us, we got to start with a little makeup update, and I'll put that in the description next time. So those of you who aren't into makeup won't be so annoyed with us, but hopefully you learned something or had fun. You never know, you know. I don't think anyone's annoyed with us. I think we're delightful. Okay, let's start with the first story. Let's talk about Britney Spears and Jamie Lynn Spears. You guys, we got to talk about this. So, Ina, are you caught up on all the Jamie Lynn, Britney Spears stuff that's going on?
So I'm not. I planned on getting caught up tomorrow. I have had a few cliff notes about what's going on, but I just think that based on what I've seen and what I know, I think people are being way too hard on Jamie Lynn Spears. First of all, she's younger than Britney.
10 years. 10 years younger.
That's a whole decade of life that Britney lived before this girl was even born. Oh, I bought that palette, Tracy, from the Too Faced website. It was a while ago though, but they might still have it. And I just feel bad because what was she supposed to do? If her own mother, who's supposed to be the protector of her daughters, is not doing anything to defend her sister, what exactly was she supposed to do? I just would love to know what people really thought she was going to do. She was a teenage pregnancy. I mean, she was 16. She was 16 and had a baby. She probably didn't escape them. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's I totally agree with you. So here's the latest that we have going on. Okay. So I'm just going to share a picture here of them when they were younger. And then I'll, let me grab this thing so I can read it here because BuzzFeed had a really good article, but Jamie Lynn has done quite a few interviews since dropping a book that she has out, that was going to have a title, of referring to a Britney Spears song, but instead, the title was changed. So, and I guess the book is getting a lot of bad reviews from Britney Spears fans because this is, for me, this probably wasn't the best time for Jamie Lynn to drop a book when your sister just got out of a 13-year, 14-year conservatorship where it was very questionable. So Britney Spears, if anyone's been living under a rock, was under this crazy conservatorship where basically they were able to convince a court that, her dad should take over for her and that this team behind her. And it was a conservatorship where she wasn't able to make any decisions for herself. And it was based on the fact that they said she wasn't capable of handling her finances or anything, or really, as she challenged the conservatorship through the years, wasn't able to reasonably voice her for herself. And they said that she was basically showing signs of dementia. Like they used a dementia defense and got whatever doctor to sign on to this. Yet through those years, she put out a whole bunch of albums. She had a Vegas residency.
Right.
She went on tour. She made a lot of people a lot of money, yet the woman had no rights. The more I've watched about this conservatorship and all the things that are out there, and the more I've read, I mean, this was a literal prison for this woman. Now we all know. I'm
not gonna lie, because I was like, that's really sad. Like that's modern day slavery, and nobody would have thought it would have happened to a white woman. You know what I mean? We all sat and watched it. We all watched it, and she would. I mean, it was pretty goddamn bad. Like getting the details of them having security watch her to medicate her. And I'm gonna be honest with you, looking at her now, if anybody follows her on social media and you see her, she's lost behind her eyes. I mean, I'm sure she's still there, but the glimmer that she used to have, like in this photo, is not there anymore. And this is almost the worst part. You can tell she sleeps in her makeup. Bro, it's the lack of caring for me. Take it off, girl. Take it off.
I think there's so many things that unfortunately she wasn't able to, this is the problem when you pimp out your children to Hollywood. This is the problem. And this is what Jamie and Lynn Spears, which it took me listening to all these Jamie Lynn Spears interviews to realize they named their oops daughter, who was the last, because you have Britney, then you have her brother Brian, and then you have Jamie 10 years later. They named her Jamie Lynn, so after the mom and the dad, which is weird in itself. And so they pimped out Britney and then Jamie Lynn. So, and Britney was the sole provider for this family. And then Jamie Lynn, went and did Zoe 101, and she did Nickelodeon stuff. She had a little bit of a singing career. But I think ultimately it falls to these two parents, to learn that Britney Spears' dad, Jamie, was a alcoholic and, wasn't always there. And then this man was then entrusted to decide when she saw her children, to decide what medication she was on, to decide what she did with all her money. And I feel like Britney has every right to be so upset, and I don't even know how I would process feeling like my family just threw me to the wolves and used me and just like pumped out, stuff for money, just put me to work. And Jamie, her dad's defense has always been, well, that's where she's most happy. That's where she's, that's where we can kind of control. No,
part
you
of that
gave your daughter.
It's not really about it's about muscle memory. It's what she knows. And she's been doing it since she was a kid.
And she does like performing, but she also wants to be a human being. And the fact that they used her kids against her in this conservatorship, and they put her on lithium, Ina. And I don't know if you know anything about lithium, but that shit is very, very, very strong. And I think they were saying she didn't necessarily even need it when they had her on.
I don't think she did need it. And the thing is like, when you're put on scripts that they're not made for you, they can do stuff mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of things can happen.
You're the breadwinner of your whole family by the age you're 13. That's
not right.
Not at all.
It's just not right. So I'll give a quick rundown. I'll read this little BuzzFeed thing because I think it gives a good indication of what's happening now. And then we'll talk about Jamie Lynn did a GMA interview, and then she also did the Call Me Daddy podcast. And she showed text messages, and a lot of things happened. Okay. So Jamie Lynn Spears, according to BuzzFeed News, receiving heavy criticism for revealing private details about her relationship with Britney Spears, again, just days after begging her to keep their feud private. So Jamie Lynn, so this article says, my mom was emotionally strained and she snapped. She started hitting me with a large beaded purse that had a camera inside. She repeatedly swung the bag and landed several blows on my shoulders. This is a quote. Jamie Lynn Spears is once again speaking out about her tumultuous relationship with her parents, Jamie and Lynn, and sister Britney Spears, coinciding with the release of her tell-all memoir titled Things I Should Have Said. Jamie Lynn made a new podcast appearance on January 18th to discuss her life experiences charted in the book. Fans have largely criticized Jamie Lynn's decision to release the memoir, arguing that she shouldn't be speaking out on the Spears family's controversial dynamics before Britney has had the chance to do so herself in light of her decade-long conservatorship battle. Britney was placed under the legal arrangement back in 2008, leaving her life and finances to be controlled by her father and other lawyers. Denouncing the conservatorship in a court hearing last June, the singer said that she'd found its terms to be abusive while accusing her mother, father, and sister of doing nothing to help. Britney was freed from the legal arrangement just this past November 2021, while she's taken to Instagram and Twitter on several occasions to drag her family for their silence and alleged complicity. The pop star has yet to speak on a televised platform, recently revealing that she's scared, quote unquote, to do interviews. Britney has most specifically condemned her sister for speaking publicly about their relationship over the years, calling her out just last week for making an appearance on Good Morning America to discuss the topic. I love my sister, said Jamie Lynn in an interview, which was met with huge backlash. I've only ever loved and supported her, and done what's right by her. And she knows that. So I don't know why we're in this position right now. Despite Britney's pleas, however, Jamie Lynn has continued to air her grievances publicly, including in a new making a new guest appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is a really, really popular podcast that's hosted by, I think, Alexander Cooper. Sitting down for an extensive conversation, there it says right here, with host Alex Cooper, Jamie Lynn immediately detailed her father's alcohol abuse, an issue that Britney's lawyer, Matthew Rosengart, raised at the height of the legal battle. The Sweet Magnolias actor explained that Jamie's alcohol use had damaging effects on their household dynamic, noting that her mother, Lynn, was often too scared to stand up to him, something that caused them to clash a lot. Encouraging Jamie Lynn to reflect on some of the arguments, Alex read a particular excerpt from the memoir that details a physical altercation between her and Lynn. I mean, this is stuff I didn't think was going on in the Spears family, but it is. We would lash out at each other. It all came to a head one day when my mom was emotionally strained and she snapped. She started hitting me with a large beaded purse with a camera inside, Jamie Lynn writes. She repeatedly swung the bag and landed several blows on my shoulders before she stopped. I ran to the shopping center next door to where we lived. I used a payphone to call my brother. Brian, mom is going crazy, the passage concludes. And then she doesn't explain what happened after that. That's all she has, which is kind of weird. Looking back on the incident now, Jamie Lynn firstly seemed to defend her mother. She said, I will say I was particularly an exceptional asshole to my mother a lot. And I do regret a lot of things that I probably could have done better to her, Jamie Lynn explained. The only reason I was being mean to her was because I just wanted her to stand up for me or stand up for herself. And I think that just became all too much, she said, adding that she would often go and stay with her brother, Brian, who was 14 years older than her. Sorry. So then when Brian, Britney, then Jamie. Mm-hmm. When she didn't want to be around them, she continued, I did feel bad for how I treated her, being her mom. And that's very unlike my mom, that she would hit her. I needed to get away from her for a lot of reasons. Jamie Lynn then revealed that while she never really told anybody about what happened, she'd had conversations with her mom about it since. She then urged listeners to not send any hate toward Lynn on her behalf. Now me and my mom, I know, like after you share that, now me and my mom, we obviously have talked about that. I told her I'm sharing that in the memoir, she said. I know that my family has been through some dumb ass shit, but I don't want people to go after my mom and try to punish her, she added. That was a situation that went on between me and her. Me and her worked it out. The Zoe 101 alum then opened up about how difficult and it was emotionally for her to revisit the experience. She says, I wish people would understand I'm still in real time sharing these things, and they're not easy for me. It's hurtful for me to work through this. It's still painful, and I'm still processing it. But part of the main step is actually saying it out loud, she continued. I can't diminish my experiences, no matter whether it was my mother, my sister, my brother. I have to respect my experiences. And I guess I just don't know how to do that because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, she said. Becoming visibly emotional during this interview, Jamie Lynn added that she needs to stop protecting people by not speaking out against them. That was a big theme throughout this interview. It felt so hard to just exist for everyone else's pleasure, she said, before detailing how she had to remain silent throughout her childhood to protect her family's quote unquote brand. I was a prop to a lot of things, but at the same time, I was never allowed to control my own narrative or have my own voice unless it was in line with everything she said. Unless it was in line with everything, Jamie Lynn said. I was never allowed to do anything or say anything that would possibly put my sister in a bad light. And honestly, I love my sister. But guess what? Sisters are sisters. Why wasn't that just made normal from the beginning? Going on to address her and Britney's relationship in more detail, Jamie Lynn said the two never compared each other, but the world did. Why can't two sisters exist in their own right? We never compared each other. The world did. We never had the dynamic, or that issue. My sister to this day is going to always be, to me, be the most badass performer that ever walked on this earth, and nothing's going to change that, Jamie Lynn said. The problem was that I couldn't be responsible for everything that happened around her and also be authentic to myself. I guess I didn't have the courage to do it. I guess I was too scared. It doesn't matter who your sister is or who your family member is. If something has caused you pain, nothing should diminish your experience, she added. Breaking down into tears during the interview, Jamie Lynn went on to detail how she's coped growing up in the shadow of her sister's success, noting that she's always felt like an afterthought. My whole life, I kind of felt like I didn't matter, she said in tears. And refuting rumors that she's jealous of Britney, Jamie Lynn insisted that she viewed her sister's achievements as nothing but an inspiration. I got to experience watching a woman take over the fucking world. How can I be jealous of that? She questioned. The speculation around Jamie Lynn's feelings toward her sister's success, as well as the ongoing feud between the two, has reached new heights in recent weeks. Shortly after Jamie Lynn's controversial GMA interview aired, Britney took to Twitter to hit out at her sister and claimed she was selling a book at her expense.
Damn.
The two things that did bother me that my sister said was that my behavior was out of control. She was never around me much 15 years ago at that time. So why are they even talking about that unless she wants to sell a book at my expense? Britney asked. And I have tweets here we can read from Britney. Then where the lady mentioned, why did she accuse you of doing remixes to her songs? I know it may sound like a silly thing to most people, but I wrote a lot of my songs and my sister was the baby. She never had to work for anything. Everything was given to her, Britney added. Quickly refuting Britney's claim about her work ethic, Jamie Lynn posted a lengthy statement to Instagram maintaining that she's built a name for herself in spite of just being someone's little sister. I hate to burst my sister's bubble, but my book is not about her, Jamie Lynn said. What? I can't help that I was born a Spears too, and that some of my experiences involve my sister Jamie, some of my experiences involve my sister, Jamie Lynn wrote. I've worked hard since before I was even a teenager. I've built my career in spite of just being someone's little sister. Jamie Lynn's response elicited heavy criticism from fans, with Britney herself even entering the conversation to label her sister scum on Twitter. This is Britney's tweet. Jamie Lynn, ... Congrats, babe. Clap hands. You've stooped to a whole new level of low. I've never been around you ever with a knife, or would I ever even think to do such? Exclamation point 3 of them, you guys. The only knife I ever saw you with at home was cutting the biggest piece of squash I ever saw in my life, and it was way too big for me to cut. So please, please stop with these crazy lies for the Hollywood books. Now, and only now, I do know only a scum person would make up such things about someone. I'm actually very confused about you making that up because it's honestly not like you at all. Around the kids, ? Jamie Lynn, seriously, ? Come on. Congrats on introducing your older sister, the concept of getting low, lower, lowest, because I just got to click, it goes farther, because you win on that one, babe. Oh, so that story came from Jamie Lynn sharing in the book that there was a time that she remembers that Britney grabbed her, pulled her into a room, she had a knife, and said she was scared. And so that's been a big point of contention in the book that a lot of fans have an issue with. And Jamie Lynn says, well, that was my experience. So, you know what, that's just what I'm writing about. And Britney, I can see it both ways where, I mean, this is just a horrible time for this damn book, Jamie Lynn. Whoever told you to put it out, I don't know. But Britney just getting off this conservatorship, and then you have a family member writing about something that Britney, I'm sure, sees as them still trying to push a narrative that she's crazy.
Trying to make money off of it.
Yes. And when really, I think Jamie Lynn could be showing that, I mean, I don't know what exactly that, I mean, that must have been, if that happened, like
Right.
Jamie Lynn saying, that would be very scary for her. And I think but there's also reason for Britney to be afraid. You
Right.
can't even trust your mom and dad. You had
Right.
people at the time, you know, trying to get pictures of you and information on you, and paparazzi at that time were making hundreds of thousands of dollars for pictures.
Right.
You don't know who you can trust. And that would drive anybody to feel as though they couldn't trust anybody.
And here's the thing. I opened up with what was she supposed to do? But let's be very clear. What she wasn't supposed to do was take all the conversations that she put in that book. She should have taken that shit to a therapist and talked it out. Like, this is embarrassing. She should be embarrassed. She's really starting to look like Mariah Carey's siblings.
Did they do this? I don't remember that.
Her sister will go to the tabloids with any foolish nonsense regularly. If they'll listen, she'll speak on it. Like, it's gross. Like, that is the face of someone who realizes she's got no career left. Like, her only money move is, I'm Britney's sister. Nobody cares about Jamie Lynn Spears. Nobody.
Unfortunately, I think that's the ongoing theme, because the more you hear Jamie Lynn speak in this interview and also in the GMA interview, she even made it a point, I'm paraphrasing, but to say, like, when are they going to care about me? Because allegedly according to Jamie Lynn, during the pandemic, the family was living together and her and Britney got in an altercation, and Jamie Lynn's daughter was there and had to kind of intervene, and probably her daughter that she had when she was 16, Jamie Lynn now being 30, daughter probably 14, and had to break it up. And then Britney, I guess she said, got really hostile with her during this fight. And the parent, she said, she's always been told by Jamie and Lynn that you can't upset Britney. And then she's like, and she was told that allegedly during this fight. And she said, but she came after me in front of my kids. When are me and my kids going to matter? So again, this falls back on, in my opinion, Lynn and Jamie, this is why you can't push one kid out to be the breadwinner, and then it throws off of the dynamic of the whole family and the siblings relationship. So then it's really messed up because they have to protect their cash cow, for lack of a better word, you know?
Yeah.
So I can see why she's hurt, but I agree with you. It should be something saved for therapy. And it does sound as though that from the way she talks, that she has been therapized a little bit. But I just don't know who would have advised her to write a freaking book months after her sister is freed from this unlawful conservatorship.
I say this with all due respect. Respectfully, I'm the type of person, if I don't feel the love, I'm out. I'm sorry. She's the only person not being held hostage to that situation. She can go and live her life. She's still Jamie Lynn Spears. She can go get a check somewhere. She can go be on a freeform movie, TV show, whatever, blah, 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 holiday, Hallmark cards. I'm not trying to hear it. If you don't feel the love, go find you somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if she's confused about the situation, but her parents obviously don't love her sister. She was their partner. So it doesn't make any sense to me. You're looking for love in all the wrong places, baby girl. You need a better therapist. What is your problem? Goodbye. Go on now. Go find something to do. This is crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. So after that tweet from Britney Spears, so walking back her remarks a day later, however, Britney shared another extensive post to the platform in which she appeared to extend somewhat of an olive branch towards Jamie Lynn. I think Britney is in a point. she's so fragile, I think, right now, and not in like a bad way, but just in like anyone would be coming out of this conservatorship, not knowing who to trust. I mean, she said her dad should be in jail. She feels like her whole family is taking advantage of her. I think their relationship has always been kind of weird because I went back and I watched a documentary where Jamie Lynn was performing at the Orpheum, or not the Orpheum, the what's that one in Nashville? The big one in Nashville. Yeah, Grand Ole Opry. And then Britney and her brother made a brief appearance, and they came back to surprise her and introduce her on stage. But it was, when you see their interaction, even in this documentary, it was very awkward. But again, your sister, you're 10 years apart. Your sister was out being a world famous pop star. Then Jamie Lynn got knocked up at 16. She was a Disney Channel Nickelodeon kid. And then she was basically told by her parents, not necessarily to abort the baby, but it was, she said, clear to her that they did not want her to have the kid. They sent her somewhere up north or something, and at a cabin to kind of hide her away because the paparazzi and that. But it's like, no, at that point, when your youngest baby daughter is having a baby, she needs her parents there with her and their full support. And some people think, that at this time, her getting pregnant might have been a cry to just get out of this Hollywood mess and move back to Louisiana.
But here's the thing, right? This is what we all have to fully realize. If you watch any of the documentaries about Britney and what's gone on with her and this and that, even the Lifetime movie, there is probably a mention, if any, of Jamie Lynn Spears. Why? Because Jamie Lynn is not part of Britney's story. However, Britney is all of Jamie's story, because without Britney, we wouldn't even know Jamie Lynn. Does that make sense? Like she only exists in our eyes because of her relation to Britney, and it's not the other way around. Like,
exactly. She got the part in Zoe 101 or whatever. It was because she was like kidding around, I think, when there were cameras or something around, following Britney, and they saw that she was just this little kid, this little cut up, and they were like, oh, yeah. And they're like, let's
Britney in something.
Didn't she what?
Didn't she play like a young version of Britney in something?
I don't remember. I just know her.
Or like
maybe. Yeah, probably in one of her music videos. Because you could tell that she was a big fan. She was a kid. She loved her sister. But what the industry will do is they will pit women against each other, and they will definitely pit siblings against each other and sisters for sure. So Jamie Lynn, they had this Oprah interview, and a lot of people are using this as proof, which I think is very unfair, because Jamie Lynn was a kid and she was like, watch out, Britney, because I'm coming for your title. And you know that how these television shows work and how these interviews work, they push you toward those type answers. You know what I mean?
But it's like, and this kid saying it, like nobody should have even, that shouldn't have any gas on it. That's crazy.
But exactly. And I've seen a lot of people going, see, since she was little, it's like they want that because it was this cute moment where Oprah showed Britney. Britney's like, oh my God. And Jamie Lynn says that Britney was more like a mother to her, which you could see, because not only is she 10 years older, but she's also paying all the bills for the house. Right. And you have an alcoholic father, and you have this mom who's not really around. She's with your older sister, doing stuff for her, and she's not standing up to the dad when you need her to. Right. So really, maybe Britney was more stable than any of these parents want to let on. But she definitely had a breaking point where, anyone who puts their kid in this business, the kid's going to have a breaking point at some point if they become that big of a star. We've seen it with every Disney star, but on Britney Spears level, of course you're going to. We know what happens in Hollywood. We know how gross this stuff is. So getting back, so Britney Spears, I think she's kind of battling, like, I'm so mad at what my sister's doing, but also I love my sister. I think it's hard for her. I'm just guessing that would be hard for her. Jamie Lynn's response elicited heavy criticism, fans, blah, 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 scum. We talked about that. So she walked it back a little bit. And Britney says, I know you worked hard for the life you have, and you have done amazing, but I think we should both have to agree to the fact that the family has never been remotely as hard on you as they have been on me, she wrote. All I know is I love you unconditionally, she went on. So go ahead and say whatever you want. It's so tacky for a family to fight publicly like this. You say you love me, yet your loyalty is still with the people that hurt me. the most. And I didn't get at first why Britney would say this, but then when Jamie Lynn was talking on the Call Her Daddy podcast, she shared some text messages because a lot of fans are like, why didn't you help your sister? Why didn't you help her get out of this conservatorship? Why didn't you do more? Why were you on the papers? Why was this set to like go maybe to you, this conservatorship? And Jamie said, it wasn't. We have paperwork, and Britney's people have paperwork that says that she was never in the running and didn't pursue it or something. Right. It gets really technical and weird. But then when she shared the messages that she sent to Britney, because Britney would block her, she said, on and off, on social media. So she also sent it to Britney's boyfriend. And so she read those as well. And in her messages, it sounds like she's advocating trying to help her dad. Like, dad doesn't want to be in this. Dad is okay. Because there was a point then when Lynn Spears stopped, then she wanted to help Britney get out of it finally. But then it almost, I could see where Britney would be like, are you working for dad to get
so I'm going
to blame my lawyers and not him?
I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial, and I'm going to be very thoughtful about the words that I choose. But ever since this conservatorship has come to light, my gut instinct and intuition has always felt like there's way more going on than any of us understand, because how did this even become allowed, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, it starts to make me question, what is the actual relationship as it pertains to father and daughter? Why is everyone in their family so frightened of him and what he's capable of and what he'll do and things of that nature? And if we all start looking at the little secrets coming out, I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot bigger ones that aren't being told, if you get my drift.
Jamie has a reputation for being kind of scary and will fly off the handle.
Drunk and forgets
anger.
They're his daughters and not his wives. That's what Jamie looks like.
Yeah, I think there's definite rumors that he had, anger issue type stuff. And you saw that just with his dealings with the press, which, I mean, most dads would be pissed off, but you're literally pimping your daughter out to Hollywood. Like, I can't say it any other way, because that is what I've always thought about these parents that put their kids into stardom like this and put them around adults and take away their childhood for what? She loves singing and dancing. All right, tell her when she's 18, you can sing and dance. I'm one of those people, I don't really think we need child stars. I know that sounds crazy, but
no,
I don't think we need it.
Crazy, but you and I differ on this. And that's only because I know that there are some children actors that love what they do and that are really good, and that they're just driven by the idea of the screen, whether that be the stage or, the silver screen. So I don't think all children are built like that. Do I think that Britney Spears was like, Mommy, I want to be on the Mickey Mouse Club? Of course she did. Did she say, Mommy, I want to provide for you and all my siblings and work harder than anyone has ever worked ever?
No.
No, she didn't do all that. She didn't say, I want you to quit your job so I can take care of you by the time I'm 14. She didn't say that.
Yeah. I want you to have me pose in suggestive poses on the cover of Rolling Stone before I'm of legal age.
Looking at all of the outfits that Britney has worn, and I mean, people give Brandy's mom a hard time because Brandy's mom was strict and Brandy's mom didn't want her doing this and this and that. But you know what? Brandy is classy. She's always been classy, and she is just not, she didn't have to thought it and bop it to sell albums. And I'm not trying to, take anything from Britney, but I have seen more of Britney Spears than, look at her now. Did you see that picture she posted recently with her kitty cat hidden behind a sticker?
Yeah, she's posting naked pics. I think Britney's at a place where it's very transformative. She doesn't know, she hasn't had control over her own body. So she doesn't, and all she's ever known is being put in as a sexual object of in this pop world. But and she I mean, she couldn't even have kids if she wanted to under this conservatorship. She couldn't get married, like she couldn't do any of these things. So I think she's just at this point where she's trying to tear it all away and tear it all down. It's going to take so much therapy and shit. Like I can't imagine feeling betrayed by everyone who's supposed to love me like that. So I can kind of see, I mean, some people are like, see, clearly she's crazy. It's like, well, no, I don't think she's crazy. I think this situation will make anyone not well. And she's just trying to figure out where she's going to land. And she's just trying to, I mean, she didn't have control of her own body, body for how many years? I mean, that shit's sick. That's really sick.
I feel for Britney. I really do. I had a nightmare about 6 months ago that Britney Spears became the president. It might have been maybe it was a year ago. It was a while ago, but I had this nightmare that Britney Spears became president. And that was one of the most terrifying things ever.
It can't be scarier than Trump. It can't.
No, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't scarier than Trump, but it was crazy. But I have so much compassion for Britney Spears. I wish nothing but the best for her and her boys. And as far as her sister, like every time I look at this picture you have on the screen, that chin
another one.
Is so strong. That is
Here's
strong.
her on okay. So also there has rumors that have been come out by Britney's security, I think, or maybe Jamie's security. One of the security having to do.
Wait. Okay, because I remember I watched a documentary and there was a few. Is it the one who had all the stuff and he kept it to himself until he took it to the police?
I'm not sure. He just said that there was allegedly recording equipment that was put in her room under her bed where they could hear her private conversations with her and her boyfriend. And you would hear other things. And that was put there by her dad, which is very, very sick. And thank you, Jay Esco, for the super sticker.
So that particular security guard was the assistant. Excuse me, I burped. The assistant to security that was hired by her father, and he was like transcribing all of these different things. He had access to her, like they were using the iPad to be connected to all of her text messages and stuff. So he had all of that, and he kept it all. And he exposed it finally. I mean, luckily he did. I mean, luckily they were these types of criminal behavior. This type of criminal behavior is like of the flunkies of the world. First of all, don't leave a paper trail, stupid. You know what I mean? Like that's rule number one. Don't leave a paper trail. I mean, I'm not trying to give advice to criminals. I'm just saying, use your brain. So yeah, what they were doing was criminal, and now they're gonna face, I don't know what. But, you know, Britney's free now. Good for her. And now Jamie Lynn needs to go free herself.
Yeah. And it sounds like, you know, she's had turbulent relationships with her parents, times when she didn't talk to her mom, times when she didn't talk to her dad.
She should stop and all of them and go get a life. She really should.
Well, she's got a husband. She's got kids. Allegedly, the husband was making money off Britney. I mean, everyone in that family made money off Britney. So they have to have. I get that Jamie Lynn has these issues from the past of never feeling important, feeling like an afterthought, like she was born 10 years later. She wasn't supposed to be here. And then she's always kind of just not felt, you know, loved or not felt heard and just felt that she wasn't good enough. I understand that, but you have to understand that you have a sister who was under this conservatorship. And Jamie Lynn, yes, you did show text messages where you were trying to help, you know, your sister get out of it. She was saying, if you come stay with me, you know, I heard in certain states, then that will dissolve the conservatorship if you're here for so long, because you have dual citizenship, like in Louisiana and in California. And California was where the conservatorship was. But at the time, Britney's got kids and she's got joint custody with Kevin Federline. And Jamie Lynn, Jamie, the dad, had an incident with one of Britney's sons to the point where Kevin Federline was like, you cannot be alone with my children anymore. So Jamie, the dad, there's some big issues that aren't being talked about. And again, we're talking about a guy with alcoholism and also allegedly gambling issues, but yet he can have these flaws, as we do. I myself am an alcoholic, and yet Britney is deemed as not fit to take care of herself or her decisions under some kind of weird dementia clause that you can't tell me would pass for I'm scared who it would pass for, but the average person, if there wasn't all this vested interest in all these people to make money. Because even the attorney that was still supposed to be representing Britney, every time she challenged it, it would get back to the family, people that tried to sneak papers to her to get her to sign.
Yeah,
and then the judge would go, well, you're under this conservatorship where they say she can't make decisions for herself. It's almost like they did that shit on purpose, obviously, knowing that it'd be that hard to break, because a normal conservatorship with someone working full time and being the sole provider for all of these people, if she's so dementiaed out and she's so sick and not able to care for herself, how can she work this hard? How can she do this much?
I mean, honestly, I really think it was a conspiracy with the judge. I feel like there's a lot of people that need to be examined for their role in this situation. And that includes the lawyer that was hired for her initially and anyone that came afterward. Like, a lot of this shit just doesn't make any sense. But I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, it is crazy that, so, and also a lot of people were saying, yeah, you have these screenshots and these text messages or messages you sent to Britney's boyfriend or messages you sent to Britney saying you want to help her. But this is after the Free Britney movement really got a lot of steam in 2020. So were you doing it to look good, or why didn't people are like, well, why didn't you do it sooner? So I think people have a lot of questions. Now, what I do,
a little bit of a break. Like, obviously, I just feel like it's hard because it kind of makes me mad because I'm just like, if her mother didn't do anything, if her ex-husband didn't do anything, and those are two people that are committed to her by blood in a way that no one else can ever be, her mother, and then her husband, that, I mean, obviously
the father of her kids.
Yeah, the father of her kids, they're committed by something bigger than just, if they didn't do anything, those are the people you want to throw stones at. You want to be like, hey, you're a problem. You didn't help her. That's the people you need to be mad about. Her little sister, who was a teen mom, who really just...
She's just as messed up as Britney. And I think that's the thing that's important, Ina, to point out. As much as people are mad at Jamie Lynn, and I get why people are mad, and a lot of the story makes me mad at her, she still is a victim to the same thing in a lot of way that Britney went through with these parents, with this dad, and with this mom who seemed to be unable, according to these two women, to advocate for her daughters when they needed her the most against this guy who was dealing with some serious addiction issues and diseases and demons of his own, but still found, because as early on, I remember hearing, it was more, Britney and Lynn, and then they had their little, like country assistant lady who's always like, I was with Britney during the, the early years, and her and Justin, and then, Jamie, the dad, was nowhere around. But I think that there's
he didn't pop up until right after. I think he came around right when she shaved her head.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's and also the alcoholic family dynamic. If you aren't in a family with alcoholism and you never experienced that, it can be really, really hard for both of these women to be the child of an alcoholic, and also the ways in which the alcoholic family dynamic always protects the addiction. And what Jamie Lynn is saying about how you stay quiet, you don't say shit, and you don't tarnish it, is what happens in a lot of alcoholic families, because there's a shame that goes with it. And a lot of times you protect the addict at the cost of the people around them, the family members that are being affected. So I think there's so much stuff Jamie was never able to say, so much stuff Britney was never able to say. But Jamie Lynn, I would have put a stop to this book no matter who told you. Maybe you wrote it years before, but it's not a good look writing this when your sister is under this really suspect conservatorship. And it's not a good look for it to come out right as she's freed, before she has gotten to speak on this. If the sisters could have somehow worked together to share their stories, but it seems like maybe they didn't have that kind of relationship.
Well, there's a lot of resentment there. There's a lot of resentment, even though they don't want to talk about it. Britney probably resents her because she's like, you didn't have my back. And Jamie probably resents her like, well, you didn't care about me when they were saying I didn't, you know, I was being ignored or whatever, or they didn't like my kids as much as yours because they weren't.
Britney, I think you're right, because, you know, Britney talks about coming in the house when she was maybe off tour, off of work, and Jamie Lynn would be sitting around watching TV, doing regular teenage stuff. And Britney, she kind of started resenting that, being like, well, she just gets to have this teenage life I never got to have, and she gets to chill, and I have all this responsibility on my shoulders. So I could see that. And then Jamie Lynn resenting the fact that Britney is like the star child and the one that you have to be like, don't upset her, don't do this, because if you upset her, that takes away money from the family. Thank you, Jay Kiddo, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. And DGF, you're right. It's shame and secrets. Alcoholism is an addiction that comes with lots of shame and lots of secrets within the family, and the effects on children, whether it's high functioning alcoholics or low grade functioning alcoholics, are very detrimental. And it's something that needs to be handled professionally. You know, seeking, you know, treatment for yourself, whether it be Al-Anon or whatever you choose for yourself as the child of an alcoholic. But there's a lot of, you know, effects. I don't think Jamie, the dad, realizes how much his addiction affected the kids. And then Jamie Lynn, I wish they would just name these people different names. Jamie Lynn, I'm getting confused. So Jamie Lynn, she talks about how she saw that same addiction in her sister, which I will say, I don't think that's fair for her to put that out in the public without Jamie. Her dad went to rehab. He went and did the stuff. That's fair game now. Britney, I mean, she was put on 5150 holds and stuff, but was she ever truly have we ever heard that she's a legit addict? Has she ever been able to say that? The dad has said he was.
See,
Britney hasn't, I don't think.
So I don't know if you watch Law and Order SVU, right? But there was a recent, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't SVU. What was it? No, it was the show Queens. Okay, I'm lying. It was Queens. So it's this new show.
Very different.
I just, you know, I get confused because I watch so many shows.
Me too.
It's the new show. It was starring Brandy, Eve, Naturi Naughton, and then another young lady. I apologize, I do not know her name. And there was an episode, spoiler alert, that had a girl on there who was like, we'll call her like the Britney Spears, right? And there's a scene where Naturi Naughton's character is like on the set of a show, and she's like a guest star, and the show is kind of like, we'll just call it Wizards of Waverly Place, kind of like a wizard kind of thing, right? And in the scene, she messes up her lines. Her mom's like, come here, you need to take your medicine. She gives her some Adderall to take. And she's like, and then the girl ends up getting herself arrested later on. And so Naturi Naughton's character goes and bails her out of jail. And she's like, why did you do that? And she's like, because the only way I'm able to not have to be on the meds and blah, blah, blah. I'm in a conservatorship. So she ends up hiring her a lawyer so that she can fight her mom because she wants to sign her to her music label. So in the court hearing, the mother suggests that the daughter is unstable because she tried to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? She tried to take her own, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So then when she asked her, when Naturi Naughton was like, why didn't you tell us? You could have told the lawyer. You should have told us about this, blah, 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 blah. And she said, my mom used it against me. I was so tired of being under the conservatorship that I said I'd rather not be here. Wow. And it made me think of Britney, because there are things in those court documents we'll never know about that happened in those like closed hearings. You know what I'm saying? Conversations that took place. It would be easy to try to manipulate a narrative to say like, oh, you're not stable because you're so tired of dealing with your horrible situation that you no longer have the fight in you anymore. Do you know what I mean? That had me thinking about that. But that's just...
Yeah. No, I can see how that storyline parallels something very similar to what probably happened in the Britney Spears situation. You know? So this in particular, the Call Her Daddy interview, there's 2 parts. The GMA was really a short interview. I think the Call Her Daddy, I thought Alex did a really great job interviewing her. And then Jamie did a follow-up even after the 2 parts when Britney has sent cease and desist, and basically was like, her lawyers are like telling Jamie Lynn, if you continue to what appears to us as slander and defame Britney, we don't want to as her sister, but we might have to take legal actions against you, because at this point, Britney definitely does not like the story that Jamie tells about her going into the knife, into the bedroom, and probably doesn't, I would imagine, doesn't enjoy her talking about possibly having addictions of her own.
Right.
So I do, like, again, I do understand Jamie Lynn wanting to have a voice and have a story, and I can see how she's felt stunted. They're all stunted. You're all going to be stunted children when you're put into Hollywood and your parents use you to make money and be famous. You're going to be very stunted emotionally, all kinds of things. But this is just not the way, especially when your sister's begging you not to do this and not to do more interviews, and it's not going to help your relationship at all. So it's hard to believe that she wants to repair her relationship, since her sister's basically has begged her to stop and she keeps going. So in these interviews, so I'm just kind of looking at Vulture kind of did a little bit of a breakdown. Britney says that she doesn't intend to read the book. It'd be really hard for me to read a book if I was famous and my siblings wrote about me and I knew there was like negative stuff. That'd be very hard. Right. But, you know, she's still very shocked that, you know, her sister would do this. So there's, again, 2 parts. The release date for the podcast, I think, was like the 19th and the 20th, or the 18th of January and the 20th. So there was a lot of suspense around it. But listening to the interview, according to Vulture, it's hard to perceive Cooper's handling, the host's handling of Jamie Lynn, as anything but fundamentally accommodating. She was very accommodating to Jamie Lynn. Cooper's style tends to favor masking her guests to feel comfortable as possible in order to draw out the conversation, which I think is a great tactic. You want them to feel comfortable as if you're just having a friendly conversation. They open up more. Jamie Lynn opened up a lot. But according to Vulture, but given the charged and hypersensitive, she said nature of Jamie Lynn Britney story, the method can be problematic within context. Indeed, you wouldn't be faulted for feeling like the younger Spears sister was given a platform to lay out her narrative essentially unchallenged. I could see that. Throughout the interview, Cooper not only comes off as sympathetic, but very much in support of Jamie Lynn. There is, of course, value in hearing her side of the story. The question is verification. The second installment of the interview contained a follow-up conversation between Cooper and Jamie Lynn, which we're told was conducted on January 18th after the latter's appearance on Good Morning America. The timeline probably explains the delay. Audio editing takes time. Vulture is saying that additional interview builds up to a set piece revelation centered on screenshots. This one, she shows the screenshots of extensive text messages Jamie Lynn allegedly sent to Britney in November 2020. The screenshots, which were later shared on social media, were ostensibly meant to indicate the former's intent to help her sister end the conservatorship, a point of some dispute in this sprawling saga. It's unclear if Cooper, the host of Call Her Daddy, and her team at Spotify subjected the alleged text messages to any verification process. That's a problem. You probably want to make sure they're legitimate and not doctored. Right. Nothing of the sort was communicated to us at any point in the episode. Vulture reached out for comment on this matter. Furthermore, whether or not Britney was asked to appear on the show or given the chance to review Jamie Lynn's claims, Vulture also reached out to Britney's lawyer for comment. Those following the story are likely aware she hasn't spoken, Britney, to any press in years, generally preferring to address claims made about her through her social media accounts, which I bet she feels she has a lot more control of. And after going through what she went through, she probably doesn't even trust, reporters. Right. It remains to be seen if the text message revelation and the interview more broadly will amount to anything in terms of progression between the two sisters. But regardless, the spectacle seems poised to vault Call Her Daddy. recently listed as the second most streamed podcast on Spotify in 2021 into an even higher strata of public profile. It's interesting to consider Jamie Lynn's appearance on Call Her Daddy against the context of Cooper's ongoing effort to reshape the podcast identity. So they're kind of talking about the Call Her Daddy podcast, which had its own drama around it because they had, I think they were part of Barstool Sports. Do you ever hear of that?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still are. And then she had this co-host, but then something happened. I remember following this story early in the pandemic where I think her co-host wanted it to go in a different direction, wasn't necessarily agreeing maybe with Barstool. And then Alex was named the sole host after that. So that's my loose interpretation of what went down. But I mean, it's a really big deal and it's a big podcast. However, with Jamie Lynn and that, I mean, I did think Alex did a good job. I did, because she made her feel comfortable and she did, she got the subject being Jamie Lynn to open up. However, you probably want to verify that those text messages were real. Maybe they did.
I mean, regarding Britney Spears at this time should have to have some sort of, I don't care if that's her sister, some sort of verification. If you're going to openly talk about it, like that could have been a private conversation. You know what I mean? This didn't have to be a public situation. Jamie is, if I'm going to use my, my little tin hat here, okay, just going to put it on and borrow that from my good friends over there.
In the conspiracy theory realm.
Yeah, I feel like she's probably wanting to, that's Carter and Jess's thing, little tin hat theories. I definitely feel like she might be trying to revamp her career, and the only way to really do that is to, at the very least, put out into the world. I tried, not to say that she didn't, but why did it take you till 2020 to try that hard? Like, I feel like you could have, even if nothing else, reached out to a lawyer. Like, you have the access to things, to information, she could have made a phone call to, I don't know, a top executive that she, you know what I mean? Like, there's just, and I just mean in the music industry, like somebody. But again, what was anybody really expecting out of Jamie Lynn? I didn't. This,
yeah.
But here's the
thing. Didn't expect this.
This is thirsty behavior. The book is thirsty. Like, we can all talk, we can go over it and again, she was so young, this and that. What was she supposed to do? And I agree with all those things. However, the cash cow book, the cash grab over, my sister's free now. Now it's okay for me to say what I want to say. No, sis. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that the situation with the knife didn't happen, but she was being medicated. Like, who knows?
Yes.
The things.
And if the book's not about Britney, then don't even bring her up. Yeah, but I'm sure every publisher is going to say, we're not publishing this book unless there are Britney stories.
Right.
Exactly. So, and Terry says, this is, or Call Her Daddy is associated with Barstool Sports. It started that way. But then I think that they, I think there was a split. Yeah, there was a acrimonious split from founding co-hosts Sophia Franklin and Dave Portnoy's scandal-rich company, which is Barstool Sports. And then shortly after that, Alex took hold, this Alex Cooper, the host of the entire podcast, and she got a blockbuster $60 million exclusive licensing deal with Spotify. So good for her, which was made public last summer. So I think right now she has a lot on her podcast. She says she has a lot to prove. I want to be the biggest podcast in the world. So she said booking someone immediately attached to one of the prominent culture stories right now undoubtedly feeds into that goal exponentially if that someone comes shrouded with significant controversy. Why Jamie Lynn chose Call Her Daddy?
So basically,
to
what
tell
I
her
heard was
piece?
she's gonna do anything and everything to be at the top, no matter who it hurts, no matter how bad it is. She has no scruples and no morals. That is all I heard. That is very problematic. She never has to worry about me as a subscriber. I will not be listening to that nonsense. There's enough of that in the world already. I'm good.
She did say if that someone comes shrouded with significant controversy, why Jamie Lynn chose call her daddy to tell her piece of the story is the bigger question. I mean, it's the second most, what did they say, streamed or whatever I read earlier, podcast.
Because fame is a hell of a drug, bro. That's why.
I'm surprised she didn't go to like Joe. I mean, maybe she probably wanted to go to a woman, but right now, like I could see. Does Joe Rogan talk about this shit? I have no idea what Joe Rogan talks about anymore.
If she was to go, like the GMA is gonna give you an in-depth with background music and intense moments and clicky commercials to make people watch. The podcast is gonna be like very like, especially if it's a face-to-face interview and you see she's got her shoes off, she's folded her legs, she's trying to look humble and sad and you're not Louisiana anymore. You're Hollywood. We know you. We smell you. You're not.
She lives in Louisiana. She lives in Louisiana.
She lives in Louisiana. Okay.
So Jake Kiddo said this is
have a house in Hollywood.
You know, there's been questions of, did Britney ever buy her a condo? She says she didn't, but then people have pulled up interviews where she said she did have this condo in Florida that was probably purchased by Britney. So I think this family doesn't even know what the truth is anymore because they've had to lie so much.
That's really
around this situation with Britney. So the only person that at this point we really want to talk to or hear from is Britney, and she'll do it when she's ready. I mean, she's processing all these things. Jay Kiddo said this is PR 101. She's going to be used as a tool because he's going to get used for misappropriation of funds. Oh, so they are okay. So Jay Kiddo, this has been said by a lot of people that the Spears parents, especially Jamie, is using Jamie Lynn, throwing her to the wolves for PR, since it looks like he's going to getting audited and they're going to see, because he wanted Britney to pay his lawyer fees, and she's like, I've given you $6 million or more. I don't need to pay your lawyer fees, and so misappropriation. So I think, and this is probably what in Britney's head, she's like, you are being used as a tool. Dad's using you as a tool, which here's the thing too. Here's another thing to go with the alcoholic family dynamic. The one, and this happens even in non-alcoholic families, the one parent who seems to be the less available, the less around, is the one you want the approval from the most. And even in an alcoholic parent dynamic, it can be very dysfunctional despite, her dad having a disease and not being there. That could be the one, as mad as you are, you still want him to love you. And he could be, whether consciously or subconsciously, using this to pit the two sisters against each other, because it was explained in early interviews through the years that Jamie Lynn was a daddy's girl. But the way Jamie Lynn tells it is she was very upset with her father, but that doesn't take away from her wanting his approval. And also at a time, I'm sure Britney did as well. But now that ship has passed, that Britney was like, he needs to go to jail. So maybe now he's using Jamie Lynn like, this is me speculating, like you've always been the good, you've been the level-headed one. We need to get this in. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Jamie to be using Jamie Lynn.
The idea of that just makes me want to vomit. I don't want the approval of anybody that bad. But again, I'm a lot older. Well, I'm older than she is. I'm not going to say a lot. Hold on, let's relax here. Okay, let's calm down. But
you're not older than Britney. You're not even that much older than Jamie Lynn.
I just don't like the idea of a person being that easily manipulated by someone who clearly don't give a shit about you. That's so sad and weird.
You mean Jamie Lynn with her dad?
Yeah, that's super sad and weird.
It is sad, but it's still your dad. And there's this kids, you always have some people, not as much, but there's always this want in you to be, I should say for most people, I don't know everybody, but to want that approval from the people you came from. No matter how mad and stuff, you will see that no matter how absent, unless you've like processed it, been through therapy, or you're just like someone who's highly emotionally evolved and just like screw it.
That
But
no.
yeah, I'm like, that might be you, Ina, but I can totally relate to, you just sometimes you want that approval from that most, toxic member maybe of your family, or maybe that can lead into relationships, and the relationships you seek out, they might be seeking out, daddy because they're daddy issues.
Daddy issues. I mean, clearly she's got daddy issues. Clearly.
Yeah, she can't see that, but we can, because we're on the outside. Exactly. You always, and kind of for daughters, I feel like you always want your father, and little boys kind of always want their mom in a lot of ways, or their mom's approval, or guys will go off and, they're like serial killers and they're like, it's my mom's fault. And you're like, why does mom get all the blame? Where was dad? But you hear that a lot, So, yeah, Terry's saying children abused by their parents still love their parents. It's just this innately in us that these are the people we came from. This explains our whole reason for being. This explains our purpose. This explains everything. But sometimes those people who gave us life are the most ill-equipped to give us any purpose or any love, which is the saddest part, So, and Jay Cantor says because daddy provides her lifestyle. So that could be too, Ina. I do too. Robin says, I feel sad for, what'd you say, Ina?
I said she definitely doesn't have any more Nickelodeon money.
Yeah, I mean, where did that go? She said she used to get like a $500 allowance every 2 weeks with that money, but where did it go? I mean, she was on lots of seasons of that. I mean,
it's probably gone. I mean, you have to think, like, people live inside the budget in which they create, and they had a big ass budget because they were living off Britney money. Her money probably came and gone within a couple of months. Nobody's checking for Jamie Lynn and herself. Those shoes.
Robin says, I feel sad for them girls. Also the brother. Jamie Lynn seems stunted. Yep, from the time she was a teen. She's still crying. What about me? Yeah, I mean, this is similar to what we've seen on Porsha's Family Matters, is despite being 40, you still are going to have those issues, mommy, daddy issues, if you've never fully processed them. And we see this with Jamie, where she's just like, yeah, I'm a mom myself, and I have, multiple children and stuff, but I still have these issues that I didn't deal with. But let's talk so let's move into this Porsha, and then we'll move into the Jennie Nguyen from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I know
in her ass.
I know. So I want you to be able to give me all your thoughts on that. But okay, so I'm not caught up on the most recent episode, but I did want to talk about this fight that went down on Porsha's Family Matters, which is so, isn't it weird that they put this under the umbrella, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Porsha's Family Matters? Why didn't they just do?
I believe that the reason it was done like that is, and this is based on what I've been hearing in the housewives streets, is that the idea was that the DVR would automatically record it, and that way she would get views.
Oh, they're trying to manipulate the system because they didn't think anyone would watch Porsha's Family Matters.
It's kind of like, right. It's kind of like how Andy Cohen has, I don't know what he did to manipulate the Housewives show, but my DVR always records Watch What Happens Live now.
What?
It automatically does it. Like, it automatically does it.
Kelly Dodd's weird ass has a point with this whole ratings thing, because Kelly Dodd's been out there talking with Rick Leventhal, her husband, and they do their own recaps now on YouTube. And she was like,
something in her mouth, and it's not a microphone. I don't like her.
Well, I don't think Kelly.
I used to like her. That's the weird part.
I don't think Kelly Dodd has a lot of fans anymore. I'll play this little. I'll do this little thing real quick. I found this on their YouTube channel. It's just so Kelly Dodd, and I don't know if you've seen it, so I want to show it to you here. Where did I put this? Okay, here it is. So her and Rick Leventhal, former Fox News reporter, they both lost their jobs, and now they're doing very important things on YouTube. And this was one of their little recraps I grabbed a screen grab of. And
ew.
That was her impersonating her former cast member, Gina Kirschgren, or whatever her last name is, licking Heather Dubrow's butt in this season.
I mean, she's not wrong.
But I mean, it's just so Kelly. They've done this before.
That's one of the things I like about Kelly Dodd. And this is hard for me because I really can't stand her because she's so problematic and ignorant. And it's just like, it's a choice. It's a choice.
Willfully ignorant. Exactly.
Right. It's a choice. But she, she always kept it 100. And I know that had she been on this season, had she not been a problematic hot ass mess during the pandemic, it would have been great to see. I'm going to be honest. I don't even think Heather Dubrow would have came back if she was still there. I think that she's scared of Kelly Dodd. She doesn't want the smoke of Kelly Dodd because Kelly Dodd is not afraid of her. She's also not intimidated by her money. The rest of them are so like, oh my God, Heather has more money. Take Heather over to the Housewives of Beverly Hills and see if she pulls those same stunts like she's better than everybody. It'll be a real show. I would love that. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want Candy. I want Heather Dubrow. I want Erica Jane. I want, who's messing? I want Kenya back. Bring me Kenya. I want, You know what? I just had a thought. You know who would really, the Grand Dame. The Grand Dame is about
Karen.
To fall in front of Heather Dubrow. Bye. And who else?
But nobody in OC has money, so they all go. Luann would kiss Dubrow. Well,
I don't know.
Might not let her.
Luann thinks that she is the queen of Sheba. She is not really about to bow down to anybody.
No,
I just can't see it.
So they need to maybe be on an Ultimate Girls Trip series together or something. All those housewives. I
didn't have Peacock because I was like, I'm not going to pay for Peacock just to have Housewives stuff. However, now that Peacock is exclusively showing the new reimagining of The Fresh Prince, I will be getting it. Oh, you haven't seen the trailer?
You should get it.
Have you seen the trailer? Please, no, Joleen, no. The buck stops here.
I'll watch it as soon as we're done. I promise. I promise. I'll tell you what I think.
Make sure you remind her. Oh yes, exactly, Terry. I want the Grand Dame of Beverly Hills. I want LVP versus Dubrow. That is a fight I want to see.
Well, we'll see if we ever get it. Okay, so back to Porsha's Family Matters. So they took this, Lauren, her sister, decided, in Porsha, they wanted to bring the families together because they're becoming a blended family because we have Simon, who she knew for 2 seconds, who now she's married, who used to be married to Fallon, who was her coworker on Housewives of Atlanta and whatever. And so that's been a weird situation ever since. And then Dennis, Hot Dog Dennis, and they have Pilar together, little cute baby Pilar. And so Dennis shows up to this because they invite him, and it's like a retreat where the other family members, aunties, uncles, no, not really uncles, aunties, but also assistants and former assistants and new assistants. I mean, her sister's a former assistant, but now she has a new assistant named Lauren. And then her former assistant, Dom, came. And then there's a cousin named Storm who seems to have a point of contention with Dennis. And then, so Dennis comes with Mama Gina, his mom, who her and Porsha, no love lost there. And so this series has been definitely, Lauren, Porsha's sister, seems to be doing the most work, and Porsha just shows up when she wants to with creepy Simon. I just think he's creepy. Yeah. And Hot Dog Dennis, a lot of fans are finding more likability in him. I'll never be a Hot Dog Dennis fan, but I can see what people are saying, that, it seems that he's at least trying with Porsha's family. But the thing with Porsha is she's not over this situation. She moves way too fast. Simon and her don't know each other. This is going to be like his 67th marriage, Simon's, and he tends to love him and leave him. I think Mims posted on his channel community wall that he might have gifted the same car to Porsha that he once gifted to Fallon, which is creepy. And they were wearing the same bodysuit, and it was weird. But Porsha didn't seem as involved, and Lauren seemed to be really wanting to put these things together and do like meditation and open up our hearts and let's really blend as a family. Namaste, as you guys are putting, Coffee Buzz is putting in the chat. But it has been, getting hotter and hotter in there, and they've been getting upset with each other, and Mama Gina and Porsha just like picking at each other, and this cousin Storm, who kind of isn't fully connected with her mom. So they have this weird dynamic. Hot Dog Dennis brought a new lady, which Porsha was mad about. And I'm like, Porsha, you can't be mad. You have a whole new fiance. And Porsha never got over or seemed to process the cheating of Hot Dog Dennis. But now, if you got a whole new dude and you really want to blend your family, you gotta move on from this cheating. You're not with him because Hot Dog Dennis puts his hot dog in all the buns. All the buns.
Okay, so this is gonna sound like I'm defending Dennis. I'm not.
Okay.
So let's be very clear. Let's go back. It's time to take y'all back. We're gonna go back to when Candy was asking Porsha about Dennis and saying that he had all these different women's names tattooed on him. And in that moment, she didn't care. It was, I already know about that. I'm not worried about that. Well, guess what? Look what happens when you don't check the flags when you see them. Like, I have zero sympathy for Porsha. What I will say is that she has not had the amount of growth that she thinks that she has, because she is forever fighting. And listen, I'm not going to sit there and say like, oh, there's no reason to fight. I will fight somebody if they step to me the wrong way. I don't care. You want the smoke? Come and get it. But I'm just saying, if you're going to be on TV, the least you could do is wait for the cameras to go down, dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just tired of her repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Well, how many fights has this been on TV for her now, Ina?
I want to say 5. So
because there was Kenya.
You had the fight with Cynthia. You had the fight at the party
in the alley.
Yes.
Yeah, like out in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You had
Hot Dog Dennis now.
One with Dennis, and then I know there's one more. It just will not come to me.
Put in the chat if you guys can remember the fight we can't think of. So Latavia is saying it's 4. It's 4 public TV fights. That's too many TV fights.
That's too many. And here's the thing. I'm not saying, let me be very clear. This is not she shouldn't be fighting because she is this type of person. No, she puts her hands on people all the time because she doesn't know how to use her words. Obviously. Mm-hmm. That's my issue. Now, Teresa and Heather would be good, Kelly. I like that. Now, if we're going to talk about this show, I have to be honest with you. I made a conscious effort not to watch this shit because I was like, it's ridiculous. I did watch the fight though. Because that's what everybody was talking about. And I was trying to see if Dennis hit somebody. Because that's what I was concerned about. I thought Dennis hit somebody.
Yeah. Now, when we watch this back, so as Ina brought up, there's a fight. Okay. So in the episode, not the last, but the one before last. And it comes to a blows because Storm, her cousin, is there, and her and Dennis don't get along, and he keeps telling Storm to shut up. And she's like, don't treat my cousin like that. But this is more than just that. This is definitely that Dennis brought other women. Porsha doesn't like Dennis's mom. Dennis's mom, Gina, definitely likes to stir the pot and poke her. So she's like, you can leave. And then she gets up with Storm and walks away. And then Dennis, or she wants security to get Dennis. And then Dennis gets up with his mom. And there is this, I got some screenshot. So this screenshot is Porsha. They're trying to hold her back. She hit that poor producer right there in the white t-shirt in the face. I went back and watched it. I was like, because she's just trying to get away. So she literally like hit her in the face. I feel really bad for that.
Isn't she the same one that talked all that shit when Nene got in the producer's face for going up in her closet? She said she was so scared. She thought that Nene was going to hurt her and she was pregnant. Remember that?
when Nene pulled the guy's t-shirt, the producer's t-shirt, like, don't go in the closet, to pull him back. Yeah, I mean, Porsha was swinging. So then Mama Gina comes over and Dennis comes over to where Porsha's at. There's producers in between them, and Simon's there. And this is when, Porsha's like, get out of here, you and your mama and your hoes, like, get out of here. And then the Mama Gina made some kind of like a slick comment, kind of like, okay, miss, healing or whatever they're doing there, just made some kind of comment. Now, I will say, in Mama Gina's defense, and also not her defense, I think she's too heavily involved in Hot Dog Dennis. You have a son who cannot control his wiener, and he needs to start, because he has a daughter now, and he's going to have to show her what it's like, how to treat women, especially women. If he just wants to date and be a playboy, that's fine. But if you are going to be in committed relationships with women, especially when he was with the mother of his child, and this might not be the only child he ever has, you must respect those relationships and not just be out putting your hot dog in all the buns, because that's shitty. Okay.
Okay.
And the mom gets too involved in that.
And I agree with you, but I also, in her defense and not in her defense, I'm going to say this, right? When you know your son is a hoe, when you are already fully aware of these things, like, you're fully understanding that your son is not going to really fully, he'll probably marry somebody, he'll probably provide a good life for that person.
But she knows he's a hoe.
He's not going to be a faithful guy, right? I'm pretty sure that's her idea of her son, and she's just accepting of it. And I think on some level, we can all agree that Porsha tried to act like she didn't care what he was up to, that she didn't care all the things he was doing. And on some level, I believe that she led him to believe, I'm fine with it. It's whatever, as long as I'm the one you're with when you're out, and you're not going to make me look stupid, kind of thing. Because there are some women that get in that mindset. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's girlfriends and wives of athletes, like the Cordells that she once was married to, if you get my drift. So it's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Don't let me find out.
Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. Don't.
And I feel like that was the dynamic initially. And then when she got pregnant, it was like, okay, you can't do it now because I'm going to have a baby. And then he got caught up while she was pregnant. And instead of her taking the ownership of what a person's only going to do to you what you allow them to do, right? Instead of her taking that ownership, it was like, well, you weren't supposed to do that and get caught. And I feel like that's why she's still so emotionally connected, because she knows she kind of built that area around herself and their relationship. This is just my theory. I mean, I don't know them, but I'm just taking it from what I see. And I feel like that's why she embarrassed herself by Strippergate. Because she him, when in actuality, he did not care. He was like, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's who you want to be. Because he knew it wasn't a reflection of him. That's why he really
Dennis?
Yeah. He was still kind of like, I mean, so you trying to work this out or not? You know what I mean?
Were they fully together when she banged Bolo?
They weren't together at all, but he was still trying to get back with her. And I think on some level, she thought that was going to be the end all be all. And he didn't care enough to be like, no, I don't want you anymore because you did that. It was like, well, now you've ruined your own reputation. So what you trying to do? And then she was like, you know what?
Which kind of sucks, because why would she ruin her own? Like, I don't think that's ruining her own reputation, right? If she just had sex with a stripper and didn't want people to know.
I don't think that it's that she had sex with a stripper. I think it's that she had sex with a stripper on TV when the cameras were able to catch it, and she was fooling around with all the girls in the house and all types of shit. It went all the way. Everything that should have stayed private was very public. And he was like, well, I mean, look what you did. You did that. That don't have nothing to do with me. And she was like, well, I think she thought that was going to be what made her be like, I don't need you anymore. See? And then she was like, you know
I got Bolo.
No, she was like, I have Alan's husband in my sights.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I just don't I get that he's got lots of money and stuff, but his track record, I mean, it's another Hot Dog Dennis situation where all of a sudden you're going to get left. You're going to get, are you looking at the one that I'll get to that comment because I see the comment you're looking at. Planner Bay though first says, if Dennis ever wants to file for custody, he's got enough evidence to show any judge that would gladly give it to him. She needs to get off the screen and grow up. But Terry says, Ina sounds like she's starting a sermon. Dearly beloved, when you know your son is a hoe. Is that the one you were laughing at?
Yeah.
Because I love that one.
I don't think that we in any capacity, anybody needs to be talking about custody. Their issue is not parenting. Let's be very clear about that. Yeah. Their real issues have nothing to do with the parenting of, what is her name? What's that baby name? PJ?
Baby Pilar.
Baby Pilar. I don't think that that's anything anybody needs to be discussing. As far as I'm concerned, they're all great parents and they're doing whatever they got to do. They're also being a hot mess while doing it. But I don't think that we should be speaking on the parenting, because as far as I'm concerned, everybody's doing their job. I don't want to get into that. That's weird.
They just got to get along so they can keep co-parenting well. So Pilar doesn't, it's sad that Pilar is now going to grow up and see her parents almost get in a physical altercation, because what happens here, then it looks like the camera angles were bad, but it looks like Porsha's going for Mama Gina. Then Dennis is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then there's a bunch of people around. And when Dennis looks like he's going to intervene because it's his mom and the mother of his daughter. But in Dennis's defense, early on, he was like, calm down, mom. Like, he's very much tries to keep Gina in check as well. And Gina's like, you're not going to yell at my son and keep talking about this cheating thing. We need to get over it if you truly brought us here to meld as one family. And then that's when Porsha's like, oh, you're going to swing at me. And then, but I didn't really see him swing at her. I saw her swing at him.
Here's the thing. We all know, like, after so many years of having Porsha in our lives, I'm really kind of disappointed in the fact that this is the show she tried to concoct in order to get some type of views and clicks and whatever. Dennis didn't have to be there. Dennis's mother didn't have to be there. And I feel like this fight was kind of pre-planned in her own mind. And she knew that security is close enough to really prevent anything from going left. And she knows that we know her for fighting. You know what I mean? This is gonna
even her auntie
Porsha had a fight.
Is like,
it's a mess.
You can't be doing this. I think it's her auntie Liz who she says she looks up to, and Liz had a lot of words. And Liz was like, I love Dennis. Dennis is a great guy. He's really trying with us, and you cannot be getting physical. And then, but it seems like Porsha's mom kind of enables her when she talks to her, but
Porsha's
her auntie
trying to be Porsha's best friend. Porsha's mom needs Miss Diane. I like Miss Diane, right? But I like her as a character. I don't like her as Porsha's mom.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I didn't know she was so enabling until they had this conversation after the fight, but also she wasn't there, so she's just hearing it from Porsha. But the way Porsha explained it, then she was like, oh, I would have went, off too. But as you can see, Porsha's auntie, Storm's mom, in the yellow dress, gets a whole hand of Dennis's face.
That's somebody auntie with a booty like that? God dang.
Yeah. Pulls his glasses off. Hot Dog Dennis was getting worked in this situation, and he doesn't deserve to be beat up. I'll tell you that. But then they were like, get him out of here. And then he left and they went to Cancun. But as you can see, I mean, Porsha was they almost couldn't restrain her. These poor, producers here, they look terrified. These screenshots I got.
Yeah,
and then this is when
shirt looks terrified.
And this is the auntie. The auntie comes over to pray over them and rebuke demons and stuff. And I was like,
gross.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, Porsha was beside herself. I mean, this is right before the Gina said something and then she just went off. And as you can see, Simon's trying to hold her back, but Simon was like, this isn't weird. This was like a 2 compared to how most families fight. I'm like, a 2? A 2? I mean, I know family dynamics are difficult, but, and as you can see, Mama Gina here is like, you don't have to yell at him. And I'm just like, ooh, that's not
Porsha needs to go back to therapy. Mama Gina needs to get a boyfriend, and Dennis needs to really just distance himself from anything that's filming. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying from Porsha, but anything that's going to happen. Like, this is ridiculous. And honestly, I feel like this is like a weird, save me, Simon. Help me, Simon. This looks terrible. Like, I'm grossed out.
It looks so bad. And the fact that Simon's not seeing, you're about to marry someone, but he don't care because he's not going to keep her that long, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't keep wives like that. He doesn't. So whatever Simon's in this for, fame, clout, thirst, I have no idea. He's got a bunch of money and stuff. He just likes a new woman every so often. But it's just such a bad look. And Porsha clearly, is not over Hot Dog Dennis. She
No.
is so bothered if he brings someone somewhere. She's so bothered, yet Dennis is expected to, and she's saying it was a traumatic time. They brought up the cheating because it was when she was pregnant. I mean, the worst thing you can do to a woman, I think, is cheat on her when she's pregnant. That's freaking, as far as the cheating goes, that's the worst time you can possibly, when you are literally the incubator for your soon to be baby that you both made, you go off and cheat. However, now that you found Simon, you better be over this shit. And she's not.
I will give you a perfect example and take the fighting out of the situation for a minute, right? But the perfect example of this Dennis Porsha dynamic is very, well, it could have been, but she failed. But very like Scott and Courtney.
Yeah, they were really bad for each other.
You know what I mean? Like, you remember there was this one trip that the Kardashians went on, and then Scott brought a girl, and then Kim went the hell off. Like, I know you did not bring go here with my sister here.
Yeah, and they like went upstairs to go get the girl, and I'm thinking,
I don't know. I really think they were gonna jump her low key. I think on some level they were beat her ass, but truthfully, I kind of feel like, it took Courtney a while to find somebody that she really connected with in a special way. I love that she's with Travis now. I hope that they get married and live a long, happy life. But
me too. I like him.
Porsha
Scott was just he was toxic, and with Courtney, they were toxic together. He was way too young and immature, and he was always cheating, but she kept him around. I mean, she had all those babies with him. Some people in the chat are saying I agree, Aunt Liz is the MVP, and then isn't the yellow dress her cousin? No, the yellow dress is Darlene, Portia's aunt on her mother's side, and that's the one that grabbed. This is the woman that grabbed at Dennis, because this is Storm's mom, I believe, the cousin that he's like, shut up, Storm, or shut the F up. She grabbed Hot Dog Dennis's glasses off his face. So
I'm loving the way your hands look with your nails, girl. You just like, oh yeah, I love it.
Honestly, grabbing, snatching.
Porsha needs to grow up. The saddest part about it is that not only did she leave the Real Housewives of Atlanta, a very nice secure check that she had coming regularly. Like, she was someone that people were going to watch the show for Porsha, if nothing else, to see whatever she was wearing, what she was doing, even though we don't fully care about, she don't have a whole lot of storyline. You get what I'm saying? See her, her little cute baby, and all the lies between her and her sister. Now, the thing is, she left that check. Then she left the other job. She's no longer working for the radio station. She left.
Oh, Dish Nation.
She left Dish Nation. And then that third job, remember she had that review show after the Housewives with Giselle?
Yeah. Did she get fired from that, or
I don't know if they're doing it or not. I don't think that she'll be coming back. I could be wrong, but as far as now, I haven't seen or heard anything about it. What I will tell you is that Porsha went from 3 checks to, depending on Simon's check, and I'm telling you,
and this is how
those beds that she's selling, those pillows, and she really thought she was going to get a tardy for the party type of show. Girl, don't nobody want to watch this bullshit. This is terrible.
Well, and that's the scary thing with Simon, is he seems like the type of dude with his ex-wives and stuff where he's like, okay, you just stay home, you don't do anything, because then you have a sense of like more control over the relationship and the situation. It's like, Porsha, do not forget that the entrepreneurial spirit that you had and going and get your own bag and everything is very important, especially with having a young daughter with this dude who has you have to follow patterns. He has a track record of leaving these women in the dust and not being faithful. And you're going to give up everything and your own sense of financial security.
Well, now, wait a minute now. This is where I kind of have a difference of opinion. I don't know Simon. I never met this man a day in my life. Do I think that he's a trash box for getting with Porsha? Absolutely, because you could have got with anybody. But he did make a very valid point in the situation with Fallon. I mean, he did have screenshots of her little boyfriend showing up to her house while she was sitting there denying
she had a baby.
And exactly. And she had a whole ass baby.
And Fallon was actually really understanding and was like, no, Porsha didn't steal him. I mean, it's weird that they got together that quickly and stuff, and that we kind of knew each other. Like, that's creepy. But we were having issues for a while. But their relationship, he had previously disappeared when she was faithful and stuff like that. So this is kind of what he does.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that she was ever faithful.
Fallon?
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know her, but I think that you are a very suspicious broad when you will bring a man to the house you share with your husband. You are a hoe in a whole different type of way. I mean, if you're going to step out in them streets, you better go get you a room at the Ritz-Carlton. Why are you bringing that man in the bed you share with your husband? What the hell is wrong with you?
I guess, yeah, I didn't ever thought of it that way, but it sounds like she was the one that kind of kept it together with the kids and taking care of her kids and his kids and blending them, and also having good relationships with his exes so that he could see his kids. Like, Fallon did a lot of good in that way when he was maybe absent from maybe working or having affairs. I don't know, but I didn't know that they had already.
We have to kind of not do that because there's no proof of him having had an affair. You know what I'm saying? Like, all we know is that he wasn't giving her the time that she required.
I think his history, though, is that that's what he does. He cheats, he gets a new wife, and then
where did that come from?
I think that's just what everyone's been saying is like his track record.
What track record? Like, this is my thing.
Well, that's how Fallon explained it, and that's how
the one who got caught cheating. Her word is not valid. Like, she has no leg to stand on.
But technically,
you had a baby.
They weren't together though when she did that. That's what she's saying, and he wasn't. So that's how she's saying.
Her house though. He was already going to her house. So
she's saying that that's how Simon didn't cheat on her with Porsha. They were still kind of trying to work things out here and there, but yeah, I don't know. I could be totally off, but
sometimes we have to just focus on the facts. And with Fallon, as cute as she was cute as a button. I thought she was going to be the new housewife. I was like, oh, she's cute. I like her. She's fabulous. No. The reason why she wasn't mad about Porsha and oh boy getting together, because you can't be mad. Because you brought it on yourself. Because you stepped out of your marriage. Like, I'm not willing to give her the benefit of the doubt.
So you're just saying they both cheated on each other, you're saying?
No. I'm not saying that he did cheat. Because guess what? There's no proof of him cheating other than her word. Her word is not valid because she was the one. He showed screenshots of that guy pulling up to his house to see her. So the only person who's actually caught up in cheating is her.
It's her. I see what you're saying.
So maybe he felt some type of way, and he was like, "Well, guess what? I'm gonna get with your homegirl. How about that?"
Or they had this weird open marriage, but like,
I don't. There's nothing that he has done, said, or that has been proven to say he cheated. I don't like Simon. I think he's a little thirsty dude who wants to be on TV, and he's getting it, and he's getting the full experience because Porsha is a lot. Good luck with
Fallon. Andrea said Fallon definitely cheated. Right. Simon said he was a cheater himself. So that.
Okay. I don't know that Simon said that.
Yeah, I think that's
he cheated. All I'm saying is it's not for me to say that Simon cheated on Fallon because I never seen the proof. Now, did he cheat? Maybe if he says he did, he did. But it sounds like
he just replaces wives and he doesn't really like to stay in relationships that long.
That's all the proof we need. Chill, I can't.
What about the girl in the Porsche?
Well, she just said she got in the car with him. She never said she hooked up with him. Listen, I'm not here to put notches on people's belts. All I'm saying is I'm gonna go with the facts. The facts were she was in the car. The facts were she knew that he was no longer with his wife. The facts are he's now with Porsha. And the fact is he is a big ass bag of crap on his lap right now. And it's sad. I am sad for all of them.
Thank you to my husband for the super chat. He says, check his wiener. That's all the proof we need. Check the wiener. You gotta inspect the peen if you think your dude is cheating. And if you spread, I have a new saying, Ina, that Chell loved the other day. I said, if you spread the jizz, you better raise them kids. That's my new merch. If you spread the kids, you better, or if you spread the jizz, you better raise them kids.
Period. By the way, Chell, I am so excited for you and everything that you're doing right now. Super proud of you, buddy. And I can't wait to celebrate with you. And I know we'll go to. I'm gonna kidnap you guys and bring you to Vegas.
Ina wants us to do our Vegas plan, Chell. So we'll talk about it offline. But yes, my husband said best money ever spent. Love you, Chell. Love you, love you, love you. Oh, did we ever discover how Porsha got all the back?
So big.
The behind, the booty?
I mean, based on her auntie, her mama's sister, that's passed down like you know, that's collard greens and cornbread. I'm not finna sit here and Porsha doesn't have one of those build-a-booty butts. That is cornbread fed.
Kardashian. That's Kardashian. Build a bear butt.
Yeah, no, that's cornbread fed.
Did she get a BBL?
Who, Porsha?
Yeah.
No. Portia's butt, her back goes in and her butt is just really, her butt actually, you remember that shot that was in the chick in the yellow dress? From behind, that is exactly what Porsha looks like.
Porsha in the episode or when she goes to see her mom and bring her some chicken wings and her mom's like recovering and laying in bed. And her mom's got her own lemon pepper by the bed. I was like, oh my God, awesome. And she has this dress on that her mom got her and her butt looks amazing. So, but I don't know, because when you see first, second season Porsha, it's definitely the butt was so small. And then all of a sudden, you know, but it could be a lot of things. She was married to Cordell. She was in an abusive relationship. He might have liked her to stay looking a certain way, and that's not how she really wanted to look. She very much
gave me I'm a trophy wife type of body type. And I think like when Porsha, I don't want to say escaped, but when she left that situation, she definitely gave me collard greens and cornbread. I'm going to have, you know, smothered pork chops with gravy instead of a salad, you know what I mean, type of vibes. Like, you know, Porsha likes Porsha will tell you in a heartbeat. The only person that likes to eat more than Porsha is Candy.
I love Candy's appetite. It's just like mine. I love it.
Can we talk about how some housewives don't eat at all, and then some eat like they haven't eaten in years? And I just love that. I love that for us.
I do too.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying Simon said, which sounds so funny, that he literally cheats.
If he's a cheater, he's a cheater. Listen, all I'm saying is I'm not here to label that man. I'm not here to label him. I don't know him. But what I do know,
I'll label him. He's a cheater. He's a cheater. And Fallon cheated. Porsha, everyone's cheating. And we'll see how that ends up.
You cheat on me, you getting stabbed. I don't play none of that shit.
Coco said Porsha got a BBL and a new face. Look at her on the first season. Then all of a sudden, we don't care either way.
Did Porsha get new teeth? Yes. Did you know that your teeth can change the entire structure of your face? Yeah, she got veneers. She already had a pretty smile, but she got them done.
Yeah, because I was like, her smile's always been perfect.
But her teeth, like her two front teeth, were a little bit longer than her bicuspids. And so everything now is very flat and like that, if that makes sense.
Like Nene. Exactly. Everybody's got them. All the housewives, Vanderpump, Kyle. Remember, I just knew Kyle had a lip. I didn't even know she had teeth. Whole new chick. I never saw her teeth. And then she got veneers.
Kyle got veneers. And then, you know what? Do you remember when they were roasting Lisa Vanderpump about her teeth and saying her breath always stunk? Do you remember that?
I do. I remember that. That wasn't very nice.
Sad. It was not very nice. And I was like, Kyle, are you serious? Now Kyle's going to get everything done. She get on my nerves. Oh my God.
She's getting some good work though. Simon, it's like if Porsha is work, I feel like Porsha got good work. Chell, my husband says Simon throwing his wiener around like he's Tom Brady, down 24 points in the fourth quarter. Today, my husband helped me recreate my new little YouTube station. And the only rule was we had to have the game on. And then he would stop and just be like, And I'm like, what's happening? He's like, okay. He had to liken it to like softball because I used to play softball in high school and stuff. So he's like, let's say, you're down, or like there's 2 outs. It's the last inning. You're down by 5 runs, and it's like, oh, they came back like that to tie it up. The Tampa Bay something or others. Yep, with the what's the other team? The LA Rams. Hello, LA's team. They won. So there you go. Yeah, and plantar basis, she had a baby. She got thicker. So yeah, there's lots of things that we don't know. So Natasha said cornbread doesn't grow that donk. Sorry.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like okay, let me explain something for some of us who are not fully aware.
Explain away.
When you are, what's the right word? Precondition is not the right word. But when there's a certain body type in your family, you could be skinny, twiggy, very thin. But if you fill out, you're going to fill out in certain spaces because that's the body type that your body shapes to. Porsha doesn't have no flat ab stomach. She's not built like, what's Gucci Mane's wife's name? I forget her name, but she's not built like that. She's a thick chick. Like her booty is real big. Her thighs are real big. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that looks
matches.
Oh my God. She looks so gross.
Mama Gina in her confessional look.
I have ever seen. She looks ridiculous.
It's a lot.
She looks
Mama Gina.
like a Project Runway audition tape that was lost 12 years ago.
It's a little ice skatery in parts, and it's a little princessy in parts, and it's a little.
Let's talk about how nude illusion for people of color, Black people, that's not your color, sis. You look crazy, fam. That's not a vibe, dude. She looks a mess. That is crazy. Oh, gross. Ew. And you can see how her boobs are like pinned up and smashed with tape. I'm grossed out.
I mean, the boobs they look good though.
No, they don't. If you look on the right titty and you can see how it's almost folded back, that's not cute. That's not cute. It's a roasting session. That's ridiculous.
Dude, America says Mama Gina reminds me of a chandelier. It's a little chandelier-esque.
Oh my God. I'm sad for that whole situation. Ugh.
Yeah. Not paid by anyone says check my Instagram. Let me see.
When people have the accessibility to certain things like stylists and nice, boutiques, you shouldn't be looking like that. That's ridiculous.
I think she's so new to TV and confessional. She probably thought this was going to kill, and now she'll go, and if this Porsha Family Matters gets a second season, she'll know better.
I think that she is from a place where that's totally acceptable, and somehow she believes it's a vibe. That's what I say. I think she thinks she is killing the game because it's not her first season on TV. This is just her first season on this show.
It's definitely not paid by anyone sent me this like before and after of Porsha, but the before is like this innocent kind of can't be herself, can't, show her stuff, married to Cordell.
Okay. Can you send me that right now, please?
Yeah. Then the after is
because part of the face that everyone's talking about, part of that is her eyebrows. So let's talk about that.
I don't think her face looks very different other than her makeup. But
exactly,
I think she just got better at contouring and stuff. And then the teeth, but the teeth kind of look still similar.
Well, she got a makeup artist.
So I'm I mean, she did lashes. I mean, she used to not do lashes. It was that very late 2000s look or early 2010s where you did like gray from here to here all the way up. Yeah. And okay, let me send this to you.
I was like, I'm refreshing.
Send it to you right now.
Send it to me, Joleen.
Sorry. Okay, I sent it to myself first. I'll send it to my MacBook so that I could share it. But, I don't have my Bluetooth on. That's why it's not doing it. Okay, come on. There we go. Joleen, send it there so I can share it with you guys. And obviously the boobs. She got a boob job. We know
Yeah,
that,
she
but
definitely got them TTs done.
she got good boobs. So let me just see if I can just send it to you because it's not working to my. Oh, come on. Come on, phone. I think I have too many programs open. Okay, let me. Oh my God, I have all the windows on my phone open.
Oh my
What?
God. I refreshed my Instagram and Miranda and her husband and the kids are on there and they look so cute.
Oh, I saw that picture. It's so cute. Okay, I just sent it to you right now, and I'm gonna try to send it to myself to my Mac.
Shout out
So
to Miranda. Yeah, like Portia's
shout
wears
out to
bigger
Miranda,
lashes
her
now, so
baby.
her eyes don't look as goofy as they used to. She has a more arched eyebrow.
So here's the picture that thank you, not paid by anyone, sent me. Yeah, she was very thin, but again, she was very young too. And we know as women, as we get older and things start widening and it just is beautiful. We come into our own hippiness and all kinds of stuff. And maybe,
Now,
being in that relationship with Cordell, and if he was as abusive as she says, like I'm assuming that he was pretty gross. He could have had a very particular way he wanted her to look. There obviously was a very particular way he wanted her to act in the early seasons. So she might have felt that like you were saying, like she had to portray this kind of trophy wife, whatever was in his eyes that she had to be.
right, which is something
And
I'm pretty
so,
sure she thought she wanted for herself. Like, I don't know Cordell, but I mean, Porsha was giving like that was the life she wanted, but she probably really didn't.
Yeah.
But if you look at her teeth, right? Like I said, she's always had beautiful teeth, but she definitely got them all capped with veneers because there's a slight tilt to them to the right. If you really look
I like how Ina will always notice teeth, feet. If you've had footwork, Ina knows.
I do know. I'm a very strange person. She
Porsha
definitely
discussed her forays into Botox and fillers on some program. She filled her bridge to get rid of the What's a Bambi nose?
I have no idea what that means.
Thank you, GGF.
But again, Porsha was also in her late 20s, and now she's over 30
young.
with a baby, and it's
now she's 40.
I just am not one to be like, oh, this person had so much work when they really didn't. I don't like that train. That's not my train. You know what I mean? Especially for the people like Kyle Richards who don't even look like the same human anymore.
They don't. She doesn't.
No.
I do like her nose job though, and I do think the veneers helped.
I think
Lisa Vanderpump's veneers are very big.
Yeah, because she really. She probably had a bridge. Because I remember Kyle saying something about like those were not her fronts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
So I'm thinking
Kyle,
she had a bridge.
What a bad friend Kyle is to say that.
Kyle is a she's not anybody's friend. Kyle is not a good girl. And the fact that Kyle tried to blame everything on Lisa Vanderpump and then all of a sudden
this is Portia's cousin who's on the show, and she is trying to be somewhat of a voice of reason at times. She's a party planner.
So funny, it's gonna make you laugh so hard.
And she was the one where Porsha, after this fight went down, they were saying that Porsha messaged her family and said, "Don't talk about the fight." So the producers kept pushing, like, we need to talk about it. And then finally they kind of talked about it, but you could definitely tell that Porsha wanted to control the narrative of that. And her family's like, but I think we need to talk about it. I think it's time to talk about it. We got to talk about Tom. But then she finally decided, let's see what this one said.
Okay, wait. Go back and then check your text message.
Okay, I'm looking at my text message right now.
Do they or do they not look alike?
I don't want to put that on your cousin.
No, but I'm saying. And by the way, tonight, this is not, I'll send you the picture and you'll know what I'm talking about. This is not about you. Because I told my cousin to watch, so I don't know if she's watching. I don't want her to think I'm like, no. It's a cousin on my dad's side.
No bridge is a Bambi nose, a deer-like profile. Oh, okay. No bridge. Okay.
Maybe I have that. I don't have, well, no, I don't have that. I have a nose. I don't have a bridge, but I have a nose. I mean, we all have noses. Anyway, okay.
Okay, so moving on. So they're going to figure it out, and her and Hot Dog Dennis have things to talk about, and there is more episodes we have to get caught up on. But people really are turning on Porsha, even people that went hard for Porsha, because I feel like I was one of the people. I really thought Porsha had evolved, like she had grown up, like, oh my God, she was doing this, great work. And, she was kind of following, in her family's footsteps, like her Aunt Liz was talking about. But then after this, and after what it went on with Simon, after, we heard some of the stuff, how she was allegedly kind of stopping Candy from, it seemed as though maybe Porsha wanted to be the only one to be seen as an advocate, when really all the women wanted to work together. And Candy was actually, wanting to provide real opportunities for people and help the culture within Bravo and stuff like that. And it seemed like Porsha just wanted all the attention for it, which kind of sucks. But that's what that side saying. Porsha would obviously say that's not true. But then after all this, I think Porsha didn't grow up as much as I thought she had.
When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And if Porsha is not the prime example of that, I don't know who is. But this girl
I have heard Aina say that to me so much lately.
Period. Man.
I gotta start. And I say that too. And then I have to do it myself. So here's when it first kind of started and the episode ends. So there's Storm the cousin, Porsha, and then Dennis, and it was just not a good look. It was not a good look for anybody.
Porsha's best quality will always be her baby hair.
Oh, they're really pretty. Really pretty. Really lay beautifully. Okay, so finally, last and maybe least, Aina, what are we thinking about this Jamie Nguyen? Or Jenny, not Jamie. I'm too many damn Jamies.
Is on
Jennie Lynn.
Let me tell you how, when I found out through watching Kempire, shout out to Kempire.
Shout out to Kemp. Oh, also shout out to Up and Adam. He hit 100K.
Oh, congratulations, Up and Adam. Watch you all the time, buddy.
So freaking exciting. Like that is what like everybody wants. You know what I mean? That 100K, you get that plaque.
I cannot tell you how mad I was having, first of all, I follow 3 housewives of Salt Lake City. One of them is Heather Gay, even though I believe she's super messy. She's messy, but in a fun way. She's messy like Porsha's mess. I mean, not Porsha, Kenya's messy, but she's not reactive like Kenya, if that makes sense. She has the same intention. She's a bone carrier. She doesn't care. She will stir the pot and she'll stand back and watch. But she's not like ready to go to blows. Whereas Kenya will drag you for filth, verbally, obviously. Now, I was following
sometimes physically, because Ramona was about to get it from Kenya on Ultimate Girls Trip. And I will just say, I think Ramona needs to get it.
I mean, I didn't watch all of the Ultimate Girls Trip. I did, like I told you, I had like my dilemmas with deciding on Peacock or not, but I did watch the first episode and I thought, oh my God, this is gonna be great. But with Jenny, I mean, first of all, her daughter is such a vibe. Like that little girl's so cute, so funny, like so likable. And I usually kind of prefer the Housewives children to not be on my TV. Like goodbye. But her daughter's so cute and funny. I was absolutely disturbed by the things that she had posted, by the fact that she didn't even, and her excuse was, oh, I thought I deactivated it. So basically what you're saying is, damn, I thought y'all couldn't find that.
Well, I know, what are we talking about? What did she post? She
posted listen, your Facebook page is your Facebook page. It's not really for me to tell you what to post on your Facebook page, but me being me, if I see you post some bullshit, oh God. If I see you post some stuff that I feel is problematic, I'm A, going to call you on it, and B, going to unfollow you. And I'm not going to have anything to do with you in the grand scheme of things, because I feel like you're toxic to my life. And if you're saying like, you know, I really don't want to get into it on here specifics, right? Because I don't want to misquote anything that was on her. If you guys go watch Kim Pyre's video, he had the whole like list of all the screenshots. I don't know if you have them, Joe, but I mean, it was crazy. Like, she just basically, that's one of the most problematic.
Here's her apology.
Okay, never mind.
So her apology is, so Jennie was accused and people, you know, of posting racist shit to her Facebook page, and some of the posts even fell into where they had to have, you know, how Facebook now has that thing that they didn't have, but now they have it, where it's like, this information has been proven to be false. And so she was posting, for example, she posted that George Floyd had assaulted someone. Well, she posted that he had assaulted someone, and she posted the picture of that person, and he never assaulted them. And it was proven to be false. It was a false narrative that was being spun by people that were anti-Black Lives Matter. And, you know, we're trying to make it like George Floyd was somehow some kind of violent criminal. And she posted that and shared that. And then it had that Facebook protection thing over it where it says that's proven to be wrong. She also, like Ina said, posted that George Floyd had so many drugs in his system that he actually died of an overdose, which we all know isn't correct. He was murdered right there with the foot, the knee on his neck, and could not breathe. And so it's her posts were pretty disgusting. She also was very, you know, she's a Trump supporter, very pro-Trump, she posted things about not liking the Obamas, you know. But here's her apology. She says, I want to acknowledge and apologize for my deleted Facebook post from 2020 that resurfaced today. At the time, I thought I was speaking out against violence. But see, her thing was the police lives matter. She's like a Blue Lives Matter. And also it's hard. I'll have to pull up her post. But okay, so she thought she was speaking out against violence. The thing was, is she was speaking about people who were rioting and looting and making it seem like all of the protests for Black Lives Matter and all of the protests that erupted after George Floyd's murder were rioting, which that is not true. That is false. So she was completely disregarding any kind of peaceful protest we saw throughout city after city for this movement, and just dumbing it down to country. Yeah,
it was worldwide protests going on. Let's be very
but she dumbed it down to that propaganda that was being pushed, that somehow it was just all people rioting, which we did see. We see in every movement, you see people, you know, rioting like that, but there were questionable rioters, whether there were plants and things like that.
There were, I don't want to go back to 2020. I really don't. But I want to say something, and then I don't want to talk about it anymore. You can talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I feel myself getting angry, and I didn't know that was going to be my reaction, just to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
What I will say is that for me, I don't know what other people do and how they react to things. I'm very clear about where I stand with things. So what I did was, because I was following her, is I wrote on her Instagram, I was like, you are very, very disappointing. What a waste. And I meant my follow. And I meant that. And I didn't care. And then I blocked her. And why did I block her, you ask? Because of course she doesn't know who I am, because I don't want to see her. I don't want anything attached to her popping up in my suggested. You are not welcome here, Jennie Nguyen. You are a garbage person, Jennie Nguyen. So take you and your bullshit and go on down the street. And by the way, if anybody wants to, look, I'm no Mary Cosby fan, but now it's starting to look very sus, the way she felt so attacked by Mary and how she kept coming for Mary. So now my radar is up on how she feels about Black people as a whole. So Jennie Nguyen, see ya. Don't want to see you no more. Your ass better not be back next season. Bye. And I just want to say, shout out to Crystal Minkoff, who stood up and said just what I was thinking, that this is some bullshit. And if you don't know who Crystal Minkoff is, she is on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Sorry about that. Okay, my rant is over now. I'm sorry. Oh, much better now.
No, it's fine. That was totally fine. I mean, I'm glad you're sharing how you feel. Yeah, Crystal, Jenny's been unfollowed by a lot of housewives. A lot of housewives are pissed. The Salt Lake City ladies allegedly were told by Bravo, so some of them say, that they couldn't speak too in depth about this because it's going to be covered in season 3. So I think Jenny is going to be back because they're filming right now. But Jen Shaw spoke up and tweeted about it, and I guess she saw backlash for that. But I'm like, you can't expect Jen Shaw, no matter what she's going through, she has a black husband and black sons. You can't expect her to stay quiet on this, especially when they're not quiet on her stuff. So I don't know. Let me.
They've been using Jen Shaw as a storyline all season long because they don't have a goddamn leg to stand on. Not one of them. Not any of them. It is crazy. They don't have anything going on. These are the most boring chicks. And honestly, if it wasn't,
I like Salt Lake City. I think it's not boring.
Listen, I like Heather and Whitney. I like Jen Shaw. And they make me laugh. The show is interesting because Jen Shaw is on the show. Let's be very clear. Oh, yeah. Jen is the drama. Jen is the storyline. And if it's not about Jen and Mary Cosby, they don't have anything to talk about. Let the rest of these.
You're not wrong.
Listen, I like Heather, but bro, if we have to listen to one more survivor story of the Latter-day Saints, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. This shit is.
I enjoy listening to it though, because I think
it's frightening.
It's super frightening, but that's why I like watch those documentaries and shit about that stuff. So
yeah, but it's like they're not going to get to the nitty gritty of it. I want the nitty gritty or I don't want it. Like, tell me the dark stories. Tell me the darkness. I want the darkness. Why did you have to wait for your dad to die before you and all your siblings decided you didn't want to be one of the chosen? You know, tell that story.
Andrew says, I wish this had come out before the reunion. Me too. Because it looks like she's not going to be questioned. So here's one of Jenny's posts from 2020. She's like, I'm sick of people saying cops need more training. You had 18 years to teach your kid, it's wrong to loot, steal, and set buildings ablaze, block traffic, laser people's eyes, overturn cars, destroy buildings, and attack citizens. Who failed you? And this, again, is a very willfully ignorant, disingenuous post by Jennie Nguyen, knowing that the people who are looting and doing things like that aren't the people getting shot. It's people who are jogging, people who have their back turned to the police, people who are sitting in a car abiding by the rules of the police, and then, gun, or, the cops are seeing things that aren't there, but they only seem to be seeing them with Black Americans. So Jenny, to be so willfully ignorant to post this kind of stuff, it's going to be highly offensive to people, because this isn't why people are out there protesting and saying something. This isn't why Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. It is because there are people who are abiding by everything they're supposed to do and still getting shot, while you have white Americans, doing far less, or a white American guy shooting up a church, and then he gets brought to Burger King after that. So just the fact that she chooses to not educate herself, or chooses not to see what's actually happening and turn it into something it's not, is really, really gross. Now, she does have other posts here. You guys can read it here. Just the wording of it, I think, is disgusting. Yeah, so it's kind of that, black on black violence, that other false narrative that is, put into they try to push on us, knowing that like more white people kill all of us than anyone. So it's really sad that, these are all over her Facebook, and that Bravo didn't, again, do the due diligence to look into her freaking past. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And just pull up her Facebook to see that this woman is it's coming off like a whole ass bigot.
She is, because she's been one, and I'm telling you, like, at this point, I'm be honest with you, I'm just angry. I really did not expect my reaction to be like this, but I want to sock her in her fucking throat. Like, I don't like her. I don't like her.
No.
And the more I'm reading, because I didn't even read all of these, like, I only saw a few of them, but it's like, you know what? This is how you feel. This is how you feel. And you're raising little people to believe that. and feel that way too. So guess what? I hope you don't have any more babies, Jennie Nguyen. I hope you don't get a sister wife, Jennie Nguyen. I hope you eat a dick.
That was so fake. That storyline was so fake anyways.
You know what?
And
I think he probably
allegedly
just want a third wife. I don't believe that it was that fake. I believe that he's probably been trying to groom her into that idea for quite some time, and she just didn't think he'd bring it up on TV. I hope he does get another wife. I hope he gets her pregnant. I hope you have to raise that baby, butthole. Sorry, I hate her. Jerk.
No, you have every right to. But I mean, again, it's just she's pushing this false narrative. It's not a fact. No one is saying people that follow police orders. First of all, you should not want. The last thing you should do is pull out the gun and shoot. Like that should be the last of that's what's is going to become more important in training, and that's with defunding, which a lot of people, they don't want to understand this shit. They don't want to learn. They think you take all the money that's like reallocating it so that they're able to get the training and the right people are dealing with the right situations. Because right now we have police officers who are not getting the training they need, are being called to things they're not equipped for. And these internalized biases are existing within them. And whether they go into it thinking, I'm not going to do that, somehow they end up doing it. Like the woman in Minnesota, I think it was the Minnesota woman cop, right? Wasn't she in Minnesota? There's been so many in Minnesota now I can't remember. But she said she thought it was her taser.
Oh, yeah, that was in Minnesota.
But this seems to only happen to Black Americans. And the fact that she's posting this bullshit that somehow if you follow rules, you don't get shot is so disingenuous, so willfully ignorant, and just so fucking disgusting from someone who has the time and the resources to educate themselves on what's actually happening to people. And you best believe if this was happening to people more that looked like her and looked like me, she would be taking the time to educate herself on it. But
here's the reality, she doesn't give a damn. This is a choice.
Yeah.
And that is because there are certain people that are, I don't know if they're raised to believe. You know what? I don't know how I got back to this. I am angry and I don't want to say anything that I can't take back. But if I see Jennie Nguyen in the streets, she better watch her back. I'm gonna bust her right in her snot box. How about that?
Not a snot box.
Yep. Just like that.
No, and Shauna, you're exactly right. In Minnesota, Philando Castile, like he complied, did everything he needed to do, and was still killed. So this thing that these people on whatever side this is that aren't seeing what's right in front of them are pushing forward, it's just not true. It's not fucking true. So Jennie,
the problem is that she knows that. And the issue is that
it sucks that it just sucks that this is her. It sucks.
I have a secret to tell you.
Yeah.
Fuck Jennie Nguyen.
Okay. I think that's a really good wrap up to the Jennie Nguyen story. It's just effort. Wow. Unfortunately, we will watch it go down. The good thing is, Aina, can I tell you a good thing?
Yeah.
They're filming. Jen Shaw has not yet went to trial or been convicted, which some think she will be. So she'll be there to drag Jennie Nguyen because they're going to find out about this. And don't think if she's Jen Shaw will get up in Lisa Barlow's face about Meredith, she's definitely going to get up in Jennie's. Jennie's going to be challenged on this.
Beats the brakes off of her. Because you know what? Jen Shaw, to be very clear, what she experienced, I'm not here to say if she's guilty or not. I personally don't think she's going to get convicted. That's just what I'm looking at based on what I've seen. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not the judge. It has nothing to do with me. We're all watching and spectating and just seeing what's going to happen. That being said, what I can't unsee is how these Homeland Security came into her home with assault rifles pointed at her children. So I know that Jen Shaw is going to have a lot to say and have a lot of feelings. And I can't wait for her to express them to Jennie's big ass head. Meanwhile, isn't this the same? See, I'm about to get mad. Isn't this the same bitch that had the audacity to be talking about how she was being racially discriminated against because Mary said, I like your slanted eyes? And let's be very clear. I'm not a fan of Mary Cosby, but in that moment, I do not think for 1 second that the intention was to be discriminatory. I think that she thought she was giving her a compliment because Mary is kind of a loopy, weird person who doesn't have a lot of like couth or social skills. She's been trapped in that house with all her things and no interaction
with her closet
with people that are not her minions that go to her church.
You
don't have that type of social dynamic. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
I'm saying
no,
that
of course
I
not.
believe that there wasn't negative intention behind it, right?
Well, I will say this. I can see where you could say that.
Whether it was or not. The person who's putting racist shit on the internet that thought that it was cute and blocked because she had deactivated her Facebook.
Yes, it looks suspect.
Fucking mouth shut, knowing the shit that she has put out into the streets,
maybe
the world, and probably into the ears of her children. Fuck Jennie Nguyen.
Maybe Mary Cosby knew about these posts, and that's no, I'm just kidding. I think though somewhere, Jen Shaw did point out Mary has been saying problematic shit for a while. And from the look of Mary Cosby's face, I think she knew what she was saying. But at this point, it's just a whole mess. It's a whole mess. Maybe she didn't mean to be hurtful. Maybe she didn't, but it was still.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe she did. Maybe she did to see what would happen. Who knows? Mary seems like she's kind of a kook. I don't know. Maybe she is that person. I don't know. But what I can say is, guess what? Now I don't care. Now I don't care. She came for you, Jenny.
Well, now Mary's not going to be back. So she can't even confront Jenny about this stuff.
That's okay. Jen Shaw gonna get her. Jen Shaw gonna get her. And if she doesn't, I bet you know who I better see getting into her ass is Heather. Heather, you want to be an ally? You want to be a friend? You want to stand up for the little guy? Because that's your little stance. That's your stance, right, Heather? I want to see Heather.
You don't like Heather?
I love Heather, but I want Heather to stand up for the way she portrays herself. I want to see it in action.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see season 3.
Because they're filming. Heather is smart enough to be messy enough to keep herself in with a snowflake. She's smart. And that Whitney needs to do better. She's not as what's the word, covert about her messiness like Heather is. Heather has a way of like getting.
I don't think Whitney's trying to be. I think Whitney's like, I'm going to spread it all, and I want to know, and here's why I want to know. You better tell me. She's like a detective. She's like Nancy Drewing this shit.
The only issue that I have with Heather and Whitney is their dynamic together is starting to feel very Giselle and Robin, very codependent, which is not cute. I like to see them be able to survive on their own without having to check in and, are we going to do this? This is not a we thing. Do you or go away. I don't want to see another repeat of Robin and Giselle. But do you remember the other day, the episode, not Sunday, but the one before it, when Meredith and Mary came in and they were in the bathroom and they were, oh my God, and it was violent. I was scared. First of all, that type of white woman panic was not a good look. It was looking real suspicious.
Who said that?
Whitney. She was so scared. And then Heather kind of chimed in, echoing the same sentiment. It was very ugly. It was not cute. Listen, I'm not saying that Jen Shaw wasn't angry and acting crazy. We've all seen Jen Shaw but Jen.
Was that tonight's episode?
No, it was last week. But Jen did not physically touch Lisa. Lisa pushed Jen. Lisa was.
Yeah, but Jen.
I'm not saying she didn't get in her face, but I am saying that the person was she being aggressive? Yes. Was she matched? Yes. They were both equally on 10.
Okay, I see.
The argument was stupid. Let's be very clear. Who's your best friend? That's dumb. I don't have time for that. We're adults. That's so stupid. Ew. Trash behavior. But let's be very clear. Lisa pushed her. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have pushed Jen out of her face, but she is the person who put action to the situation when it was a screaming match. I'm not saying it's okay. You know how I feel. You get in my bubble, you might get bust upside your head. But to turn around and be like, Jen was so violent. Wait a minute. Was she? Because I didn't see it that way.
It's so hard with Jen Shah because she yells and she gets so in people's space.
Angry, irrational, loud. Yes. Did she physically touch her? No, she did not. It's kind of like, if you think about it, okay, here's a perfect example. Do you remember when Kim and Nene got into that screaming match on the tour bus of Candy's bus?
And if Kim would have pushed her when Nene was in her face, I don't like Kim, but to get out of her face, yeah.
Right. But all I'm saying is, like, yes, Nene was wrong, but Kim was talking crazy. If you're gonna get there, if you're gonna go there, listen, this is the show. These people, they go back and forth. But then to turn around and spin it to people who weren't there, oh my God, I was so violent. I was so scared. Oh my God. Stop. You were not that goddamn scared because you sat there and you watched.
I didn't see that part. Yeah, it's all a mess, but I will say Jen needs to learn how to talk to people because now she's had this kind of like abusive yelling, like when she yelled at that guy that worked for her, the designer, and it was leaked, the audio, because they taped it. Like the way she speaks to people is fucking unacceptable, and the lack of respect and her getting up and getting in. Like, I'm not a huge Lisa Barlow fan, but it's just unnecessary. Granted, it's Housewives, you know, and we see this with all the Housewives, but I don't begrudge Lisa for being like, get the fuck, because she's screaming like she's this close to her. And it's like, somebody get her away from me, because that is a form of like assault in itself. Do you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. Listen, if somebody screams up in my face like that, they're getting socked. I'm not kidding. Like, they're getting punched in the face. I don't like that. That's not cool. Don't get in my bubble. That's weird.
But you're so little, Aina.
I know, but I'm a little one that packs a punch. But still, like, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the fact that Lisa had every right.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Space. I just think that when retelling that story, tell it on both sides.
Got it.
Seem like Jen was just this violent, crazy person that had to be restrained. Stop.
Well, she was drunk too. Like I didn't know she was like drinking straight from the. I mean, she's just has that history of doing that.
When a person is emotional, unstable, terrified, and drunk, they're gonna be a mess. All of that shit stemmed from being a hurt person. Hurt people, right? I don't think she ever had any intentions of physically touching her. I think she just literally wants, that's her thing, scream in your face. I don't really like all that. I'll sock you. If you get in my face screaming, I might punch you in your forehead. That's just me. I can't speak for everybody. That shit was crazy though. You know what I mean? It's a no for me.
Well, Mason wants to know where the Big Brother talk is. Well, there was no Big Brother talk in this one because we haven't had any stuff drop. We've just had rumors, but my previous video before this one, the ice cold pop culture, I did talk about some speculative, but apparently just to end it with a little Big Brother talk, I guess we could.
Oh my God, yes. Big Brother.
Tiffany Pollard is allegedly, they're saying she might be refusing to get vaxxed.
And you know what? That is her prerogative. We're just going to keep her over there. Listen, moving right along. I don't know why y'all are all sweating her showing up and being on Big Brother. She already did the other one in the UK. She's been on all these shows. I don't want to see her anymore, bro. I'm just being honest.
You don't want Tiffany in the house?
Hell no. Like, I don't have time for those shenanigans. I'm not a fan of her like that at all. Honestly,
there was a producer that came out and was like, no, don't ever on the show. I worked with her on one of the other shows, and I guess he was saying that she was elated when Trump was elected.
I don't know what her political affiliation is. That has nothing to do with me. But what I know is that she's not my type of people. I don't enjoy her. The most
You didn't like her on CBB UK?
No. And the only moment that I ever had was when, like, and I only saw it because someone sent it to me, the clip of her when she finds out that David Bowie died. That shit was funny.
Yeah, David's dead.
It was funny. But at the end of the day, I don't need her. I'm good.
Well, we have mixed opinions. So Art by Raquel says, nah, she better get the jab. I need her on my TV. I'll stick her myself, LOL. But then Care Bear says, I don't like Tiffany either, for real. So
I'm good. Like, listen.
It's so subjective. I want it.
If you really think about it, right? As the fans of Big Brother, do we really want to watch somebody who is going this hard in the paint because they don't want to get vaccinated? Listen, you guys know I love General Hospital. It's one of my favorite shows. I literally can't say enough wonderful things about it. That being said, a cast member who has been on that show since the 1980s.
I saw that.
He has left the show because he is choosing that his body is something he does not want to get vaccinated. And you know what? Peace be unto him. I will wish him well. I'm sad because his storyline was getting really great. But unfortunately, bye. Steve Burton, we're going to miss you, bro. It was good while it lasted. Adios. I wish you nothing but positive things in your future endeavors. I don't have time for that. So Tiffany not wanting to get vaccinated.
I was disappointed when I heard that was possibly the reason. I'm like, come on, Tiffany. But that might be the reason. But there's still speculation that Erica Jane, but I don't know. She could be filming but I don't know what's going on.
I only acknowledge one Tiffany when it comes to Big Brother.
Did you see who Tiffany's going to be doing podcasts with?
Who? Chata?
No.
Who?
She became a
say words.
She became a member. Before I say it, I still like Tiffany. I still think she has the right to do whatever she wants.
Wait a minute. Please, no, stop. Slow down. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Tiffany.
Wait.
I didn't want to break it to you. I thought you knew.
Nicole Franzel.
No, it's not Nicole Franzel. It's worse.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Who's worse than that?
No, I don't know if it's worse. It's Cody and Derek. The winner's circle. She's going to join the winner's circle.
Cody?
He won.
Ew. Why the fuck would she want to do that?
You know.
Weren't they talking shit about her?
I don't know. I
distinctly remember seeing a tweet where Cody opened his mouth to talk about how her game wasn't that great and da-da-da-da. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to go search. I'm going to go find it. You know what? This is none of my fucking business. I'm just not going to watch it. I don't care. Moving right along.
But that came out. She was very excited about it. I think I liked the Instagram post. More power to Tiffany. She has the right to be friends with. However,
that's going to make Tiffany great. But let's be very clear: when
this will help them more than it helps Tiffany.
Thank you, because they weren't getting any fucking views last season because nobody wanted to hear their bullshit ass. We play perfect games, so we know everything about Big Brother. In actuality, they were playing with a bunch of simps. And that includes the All-Star season that Cody played in.
So, you know what?
By the way, that has nothing to do with the first 5 people that were evicted from that house, to be clear.
If anything, it'll make Tiffany, or it'll make the show better with Tiffany, for sure. Because they need a personality. They need
a Black woman to come in there and shut it down with her fabulous ass. Because that's what she is. She's the moment. She is the everything. And they know what it is. Now, whether or not she's excited to be a part of that, I'm happy for her. Because I guess on some level, it would be kind of cool. Listen, I thought Derek played a great game. Cody, right. So,
No, I know it. I know exactly what you're saying.
I say to watch for Tiffany's views and opinions. And we all know that already.
Yeah. It's going to help them. And I hope that Tiffany gets everything, I hope she gets I think for Tiffany, it's probably starting your own thing is so daunting if you've never done it before. So this will be a great, I think she'll get some experience. You know what I think she'll do? She'll get even more popularity, and then she'll go branch off and do probably her own thing or with someone else. Cause I would love to see her in Chata or Light. Raquel is saying, I would love to see the cookout. I would love to see them all do something, like the entire cookout, do some kind of, you know, podcast, YouTube channel, even the women. I mean, I would like to see that.
I don't want to see
You know?
that. I need to be very honest with. I don't want to see that because I don't give a shit what Derek has to say. I don't really care what Xavier has to say. I don't want to hear Kylan talking for 45 minutes about one thing.
Be honest though.
People. I don't want to hear them. I want to hear Tiffany. I want to hear Chata. I don't mind hearing Azah because Azah's
great.
Azah is a thinker.
She's a thinker. I think Xavier would actually be interesting because he would have a hell of a lot more knowledge and say than Cody. I'd rather listen to Xavier than Cody.
Yeah, I definitely would rather listen to Xavier than Cody. I don't want to listen to Cody. That's
how about this? What if the Winners podcast, they get rid of Cody, keep Derek, keep Tiffany, add Xavier?
Now, wait a minute though. Here's the thing.
That could be good.
How are we going to see? This is how I know they're using Tiffany. And let's be very clear. They know, see, I feel like, I guess my mom used to always say, it's okay to use somebody, don't misuse somebody, right? The problem that I have is I worry for her because here's the thing. The show is called The Winner Circle, right? Or something like that.
Yes. She did win America's Favorite Player. She won America's Favorite Player. That's a win.
But according to them, that doesn't matter. Didn't they say that? I'm pretty sure they said something to that effect. When Davon won, remember that? Remember Davon won? They were talking shit? Because that's not important enough because she didn't win the game. So here's my thing. If you're going to be those guys, Derek and Cody, remember the shit you talk about and the things you say because they can come back to get you. That's all.
I think Tiffany... I think I understand what you're saying. And I think
she knows she has that shit on lock. But it's just a matter of
she don't care.
I want nothing.
People were mad at her on Twitter. I'm like, you can't be mad at her for taking an opportunity that she wants to, you know, talk Big Brother. Listen, Cody and Derek, they should probably, they'll get bigger numbers with her, but they do get decent numbers. So, I mean,
I'm not going to take anything away from them. They're both winners. And they are well within their rights.
I'll take it away from Cody.
Listen, on paper, they played perfect games. I'm not going to take that away from them, right? But let's put both of them in a season of all winners and see what happens. That's what I would like to see. I'm not saying that they're not justified in their wins. They won them. It is what it is. I definitely wanted Derek to win. And when it came down to Cody and
there was no other choice on his season. I mean, he was put in a house with people that were relatively not that difficult to beat. If you really want to compared to other seasons, I think, you know, if you look at someone like Dan Giesling, his season, I think was,
I would love to see Tiffany and Dan. Oh,
something. I mean, Dan had more people, more difficult people. I think people that were smarter.
Oh, yeah.
It just seemed like BB16 was kind of, it just, strategy wise, it was pretty easy for him to come in and just sweep through the house. You know, I know Tilly comes around when it's almost, so we do got to wrap it up. But yeah, I did see people getting upset with her. You guys can't get upset with the people after this. I mean, you can, you have every right to, but after the season, if they want to collaborate with other Big Brother people, we might not love them, but we do have to remember that, like, they're just people, and Tiffany is looking for opportunities and she wants to talk game, and it might not be with the people we want her to talk game with, but this is an opportunity. It's a starting point. Do I think she'll be there forever? Probably not, because she'll probably realize it's another like Nicole Anthony situation where I can show you how to plug in the mic. You know, you don't need, you know, you don't need certain people to help you. But this could be good for Tiffany, and who knows?
Listen, I think any opportunity for us to be able to hear Tiffany talk game strategy, I'm here for it.
Yes, yes.
So I say that I don't want to watch it, but I'm going to watch it because here's the thing. I like hearing her talk game. Some of my favorite highlights from the season never even made it on the show because it was just her strategizing in her own little moments, like going over things, you know, having moments with Claire. Those were great. You know what I'm saying? So as far as I'm concerned, we all want to see more.
Her and Claire, they should have a podcast.
Would they? I kind of like Claire doing her thing with her boyfriend. Like, go do that.
Well, he could join too, and Chada could join, but I feel like Claire and Tiffany, they were partners in this game. Claire's a super fan. Tiffany's a super fan. It would be a very interesting podcast to be listened to, in my opinion.
I'm not taking anything away from Claire. I just think Claire's doing other stuff right now. I just don't think she's on a love bubble. She's not,
but she can still do a podcast for us, the fans. Okay, get off your love bubble and do us a podcast. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Aina. You guys subscribe to her channel. Link is in the description. Thank you for the super chats. Like this on the way out, and if you leave a comment after it posts.
White Contrary. Hey, this is my friend. We like to have little battles. Don't be mad. This chick's name is Aina. How you doing?
I'm not looking at the
comments. I don't know who that is, but you better ask about me.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's totally okay. Okay. So, subscribe to Aina's channel. There is a link in the description. Leave a comment after the video posts, and, you're going to come back, right? Aina, don't focus on comments.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys
We'll be back. It'll be a vibe. You'll see.
Oh my God, it's been 3 hours.
Girl, this is nothing.
We always do this.
I was like, we talk more than this on the phone. Like,
we always do this. I have to do actual work, okay? Oh my God, why do I wait till the last minute? Okay.
Bye, Raquel.
All right. Should I be pulling up these? Let me look at the comments. Okay, bye. Oh, Chel's here. You're dope. So, I mean, yeah, here's the thing with YouTube. Some people are going to like what you're doing. Some people are not going to like what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm an acquired taste. You better expand your
Everyone's
palate.
An acquired taste.
You better expand your palate.
I'm going to have to busy blue you. Read the positive comments.
I am the moment. It's all good. I ain't tripping. I got nothing but love for you, baby.
All right. Aina, where can they follow you? They can subscribe to you and they can follow you.
So my Instagram is blender_Ella. I think I figured out how to change my YouTube name to Blenderella. And then I'm still figuring out the kinks of how to change my YouTube name. It's a struggle. Like, technology is not really my thing, but you will see me when Big Brother comes back. I'm just, getting it together. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be looking out for y'all.
Go subscribe, go follow me, leave a comment after this video post. We love you. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll be back tomorrow with 90 Day with Nana, Nana's triumphant return. Yes. Bye, everyone.
We love Nana.